You are looking live at Doak Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee, Florida. The bright lights of prime time shine on a big-time ACC matchup. Number 4, Florida State hosts number 10, Clemson. And the winner, folks, takes dead aim at a possible national championship. Buckle up, everybody. The Saturday night roller coaster is leaving the station. Good evening, everybody. With Kirk Herbstreit, I'm Brett Musburg. You know, Kirk, there's something known as fool's gold. Looks real shiny, real good. But you're going to the appraiser, and he says not worth much. So why should everybody believe in Florida State this time around?
Well, I think that this is a legitimate top 5 team this year. And I think the big reason I looked at this team on paper was because they have more depth, they have more speed. Jimbo Fisher and his staff have done a really good job of recruiting. A veteran quarterback now in E.J. Manuel. Now we'll see, because this is by far the toughest test, not only that they've seen up to this point, maybe the toughest test that they'll face all year.
And Kirk, when everybody looks at the Clemson lineup, all they see are speedy weapons. And how about the quarterback, Taj Boyd?
Well, Taj Boyd is in his second year running this system for Chad Morris. It's kind of a Gus Malzahn type of offense. It's a hurry-up tempo offense. They're going to run outside with Sammy Watkins. They're going to run up the middle with Andre Ellington. They're going to take some shots downfield. It's going to be a heck of a matchup with that Clemson offense against the Florida State defense.
Ah, the defense. Another Stoops is the orchestrator for Jimbo Fisher. Mark Stoops, what about this defensive unit?
Well, I think for Florida State to be able to get this crowd into the game and be able to really get after Clemson, the battle in the trenches with Florida State's defensive line, where there appears to be a clear advantage. Can they get after Taj Boyd? Can they affect his rhythm and timing with his receivers? Can they stop the running game of Andre Ellington? That'll be the matchup to watch. The Florida State defensive line against that offensive line from Clemson. Then we can talk about the skill after we watch that battle.
Are you surprised the Noles are a strong 2-touchdown favorite?
A little bit. I think we're going to see a lot of speed on this field tonight.
All right, settle in, everybody. Should be a good one. Florida State and Clemson. An opportunity for Clemson. Never in the school's history have they beaten a top 5 team on the road. And tonight, they square off with number 4, Florida State. 26th meeting. And the Seminoles lead it all time, 17-8. But the Tigers have won 5 of the last 7 and 4 of the last 6 have been decided by 7 or less. The Tigers take the field. Kickoff is coming up live from Tallahassee, Florida. Now, a look inside Nissan's Heisman House. You're watching the ACC on ESPN. Unconquered. Florida State, ranked number 4. Osceola on Renegade. Game time in Tallahassee. Let's go to Heather Cox with Jimbo Fisher.
Brent, thanks so much. Coach, the talk all week has been on high expectations and the memories of what happened a year ago in very similar situation against Oklahoma. What have you and your team learned that you can use tonight?
Well, I think we'll lose that experience, but I think the main thing is that it's about the game. Nothing matters but about the game. Eliminate the clutter, trust how you're being coached, trust your fundamentals, and turn it loose. And
Coach, what challenges does Clemson high-octane offense present to your highly touted defense?
Well, I think the great athletes they have, the multitude of formations, and they can run and throw the football, and they're going to move it around. They're going to make some plays. We just have to make more plays.
Coach, thanks. We're looking forward to a great game. Brent?
All right, Heather, and Jimbo's defense will be on the field to start this game. So the Clemson high-powered offense will handle it. Dustin Hopkins with the ball on the tee will kick it away from the Noles. And yes, Sammy Watkins is one of the deep backs. He'll take it. And a knee. And Herbie, let's take a look at tonight's impact players for Clemson. Brought to you by Avis.
Well, they have a lot of them. Taj Boyd is the trigger man. Second year, as we said, so he has a better understanding, making quicker decisions. He'll have to run the ball tonight. Andre Ellington gives him power in the middle. Sammy Watkins, you'll see him on the jet sweep. A lot of perimeter running and catching the ball. And DeAndre Hopkins, number 6. Vitally important to take some of the pressure off of Boyd and off of Watkins. He's got to make plays against Xavier Rhodes for Florida State.
Folks expect a lot of motion, a lot of seeing Watkins change position, a lot of slot formations on the part of Clemson. Chad Morris will change it up all night long. Play action on the first play of the game. And a completion out of the backfield. Sam Cooper, the backup tight end. Now remember, Dwayne Allen was a star for Clemson a year ago. He's now playing with the Indianapolis Colts. And Sam Cooper and Brandon Ford will be the tight ends. A different looking formation now on 2nd and 3. There's the jet sweep. Taj keeps it, picks up the first down.
The different looks that you see from Chad Morris creates hesitation. The motions, the tight ends moving around. That time you saw Sammy Watkins in motion. The linebackers, it creates hesitation, and then you got to deal with a power running game from Ellington like that. They really put a lot of stress on the linebackers and safeties of defenses.
Now they move a wide receiver in the backfield, and they've used the end around, reverse motion with Ellington. He crosses the 40-yard line. Here they are, keeping Mark Stoops off balance, Herbie, just as you said, with a variety of formations.
It's the formations, it's the personnel groupings. Ellington is checking out of the game. They've got 5 receivers now in the game. It's a lot of different looks, a lot of window dressing. It's slowing down the fast Florida State defense by making them have to think.
They stack 3 wide to the left, but Taj throws underneath to Hopkins, and the Noles were ready. They jumped that beautifully, and Xavier Rhodes, a fine corner, makes the stop.
Interesting that Clemson won the toss and elected to receive the ball, and now you can see why. This up-tempo offense, what they're trying to do is take away the aggression from Florida State and get them on their heels with the tempo.
3rd down and 7, the pistol look that they studied at Nevada. Deep down the middle, goes for the home run. Hopkins has got it. Touchdown, Clemson. A 60-yard bomb. Dabo Swinney says, give us the football, and it pays off, Herbie.
Well, we just talked very fast about a lot of things that can happen to you. We're trying to keep up here, Brent. The Florida State defense is trying to keep up down there. You can simulate this look of this offense all week long, but until you see it, you don't understand the tempo and the speed in which they execute. If you're a Clemson fan, that's exactly what you wanted to see and the way you wanted to start this football game.
Timeout is called. They did not have 11 men on the field. Coach Swinney is livid. They burn a timeout. Inexcusable for your extra point team as Hopkins, the star who took it in. You know, we talk a lot about Sammy Watkins, but I'm telling you, Herbie, number 6 is lethal.
I am with you, and it's back here in the back end. The safety actually hesitated. And again, if you don't have your eyes disciplined on your reads, this time Terrence Brooks, the safety, actually got caught up in looking in the backfield and looking at the other receiver. I don't know if he's anticipating help, but he was slow to react to Hopkins getting behind him. And do not underestimate the arm strength of Taj Boyd. He puts it right behind Terrence Brooks, who gives up the touchdown there.
So now 11 men on the field for the Tigers. Chandler, Catanzaro tacks on the extra point. If you just joined us, we're underway, and we expect a lot of this tonight. Speed kills. Clemson leads.
Now it'll be Deion Sanders. Finds an alley. It's going to be a touchdown, Florida State. An electrifying 76-yard run. High, it's a fake. It's Leroy Butler. What a gutsy call, Bobby Bowden. Unbelievable.
Coach Brent, you called that game one of the most memorable in this great rivalry, and I can remember that game as a fan watching it on my couch like it was yesterday.
These two teams, they can wage some great football.
Oh, no doubt.
It'll be the Noles' turn coming out. And coming out is Joyner, LaMarcus Joyner, looking for a crease. There's a penalty. A penalty flag is thrown. Joyner got out to the 35. There may have been an illegal block, so hang on.
Yeah, it's on Florida State.
During the return, holding 34 of the receiving team. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
Be interesting to see how E.J. Manuel and the Noles respond to what Clemson just did. I mean, 5 plays, they went right down the field, put points up on the board. Manuel's a veteran guy, 6'5", 240 pounds, has a big arm. He needs to take that next step in his maturation, and he needs to be able to lead the Noles to a victory.
They're going to open with 3 wide tonight and the 1 running back. Lonnie Pryor is not on the field for the first play. That's O'Leary, the tight end, looking like an H-back. And Manuel's going to put it up on first down. Complete for a big first down. Rodney Smith. And Rodney Smith has now caught a ball in 29 consecutive games. That for 19 yards.
This is a simple read for E.J. Manuel, getting the ball out of his hands fast. And this Clemson defense with a new defensive coordinator, Brent Venables, over from Oklahoma, they've not gotten off to a fast start in 2012. I think their confidence is a bit rattled. We'll see how they play here early in this game.
Now Pryor checks in on this first down. He'll lead the way for Chris Thompson. Watch the fullback. He'll take you to the action. And Thompson to the 40. Kirby, here are the impact players sponsored by Avis for the Noles.
Talked about Manuel, great leader, ready to take that next step. This is a big opportunity for him. Chris Thompson, a huge game last week with 197 yards against Wake Forest. Great acceleration. Rashawn Green is on the outside. He's your game breaker. And, of course, Warner has got to do a good job of getting pressure on Taj Boyd.
On second down, play action. Manuel drops it off to O'Leary for the first down. 45-yard line, and it's first down the Noles.
This is a great call. This is the challenge for Clemson tonight. Florida State wants to run the ball with Jimbo Fisher. And so you're thinking about the running the football, and all of a sudden you've got play action. You've got a lot of movement by this defense over here. Makes it easy for the fullback just to slide out and just dump it right over top of the defense. It's a balanced attack this year from Jimbo Fisher. They can run the ball. They got a big offensive line, great backs, but you got to be careful of overcommitting because they can hit you on play action.
Now 2 backs in. Pryor again. This is his first carry. Into the 40-yard line, and Travis Blanks making the stop for the Tigers. The big question about the Tigers will be the defense up front. Brent Venables, their new coordinator. Remember, he coordinated Oklahoma's big win in here a year ago. But he's working with very young personnel. And right now, we see the Noles, they're gouging them.
Their own version of the hurry up where, you know, they're not necessarily huddling, but they're not necessarily in that up-tempo style.
Manuel, and he is a fine runner. He'll show some option, too, before the night's over. Here he is coming around behind Thompson, keeping it all the way. 30, 25, 20, 15, and out of bounds, far side. He is so dangerous on the move.
Well, 6'5", 240 pounds, and as you just said, Brent, prior to this play, he is a dangerous threat. Watch the seal block on the outside. O'Leary, who just made a nice catch. Now he's blocking. Thompson's out front. He's helping out. Also, Rodney Smith doing a good job. When you get receivers blocking downfield, it helps out. Love to see Chris Thompson getting involved, not just running the football, but being willing to block there for his quarterback. That's a big gain for this Noles offense.
28 yards. Total. Now there's 3 wide. Rashad Green and the receivers for the Noles have got size. If they can get into some jump ball situations, they're going to burn a timeout. There was a little confusion with personnel for Florida State. Emmanuel came up and checked the D and decided, let me burn one right here. This is important territory.
It's a little different than the games you and I watched on the bus this afternoon. We got more action in these first 2 drives than most of the games we watched today.
Don't give it away that we were watching the Midwest. We were checking out a couple of Big Ten games.
Yeah, we sure were. A lot of speed on this field.
Well, here's our 2 quarterbacks, Herbie, and you and I have been talking about them all week and watching Manuel in practice the other day.
What a great competitor. Jimbo Fisher telling us this week that the greatest thing he has done is really committed himself in the offseason. Taj Boyd did the same thing. Just trying to, again, you got experience. Now you want to take the next step. Be the leader. Understand the offense. Make the checks at the line of scrimmage. Taj could not have gotten off to a better start than what he did there on that first drive.
Lonnie Pryor is going to come in from the sideline along with Nick O'Leary. So they will have the tight end / H-back and a fullback. Thompson will stay in as the running back, and they'll operate this out of the gun here on first down from the Clemson 13. Tigers showed a little bit of pressure. The safety was pressing in the box. They're going to try to blitz the run, and it's Pryor again. Touchdown, Florida State. The senior from Okeechobee, Florida, who is all football player, bangs it in from the 13. They have talked about Oregon and Arizona scoring into the early morning. Hang on, everybody. We may outscore that game. Dustin Hopkins underwent knee surgery in the spring. Fine now. Nails it. We are deadlocked at 7 as we continue Dr. Pepper's road to the championship. Let me introduce you to the Florida State Flying High Circus, one of a very few collegiate circuses in the United States. And since '47, Herbie, the circus is a year-round program in which Florida State students can participate. And it's
right here on the campus. Yeah, right behind the baseball stadium.
There's a great baseball field, the practice fields. And there's a circus tent down there in the darkness. Trust me. Hopkins. Fielded by Watkins as he comes up, and he's out to the 22.
Hey, you go back. I want you to watch the quarterback here, E.J. Manuel. That's what I'm talking about. He recognizes the safety, extra run support. So he's going to see he's moving the play over to the left, a stretch play to the left. What I think this play has become the bread and butter for this Florida State team. You can see the stretch here, the nice block here on the linebacker, and it gives them a nice fire, a nice seam to be able to cut inside there. Patience is key from a running back. That play takes time. Once you see it, you got to hit it in a hurry. And Pryor's a fullback. He did a really nice job there of waiting and then hitting it hard.
So they move Watkins back into that pistol formation, show the jet sweep, and then bang with power behind the middle of the offensive line. There are some questions about the Clemson offensive line. They do not have a lot of returning starters. The ace is number 55. That's Dalton Freeman. He was all ACC first team. Now over at left tackle is Brandon Thomas, a redshirt junior. He started 9 games at left guard last year, so keep an eye on the biggins. Play action. Safety valve incomplete. Hopkins was coming around, and Taj Boyd had to check it down as we take a look at the offensive line. Now over on the right side, Herbie, Gifford Timothy able to return at right tackle.
I think number 70, Timothy, is the biggest concern in pass protection when you get to third down. The right tackle going up against the speed of this Florida State defensive line, especially Bjorn Warner, who's up against him right here.
Remember now, Shaq Anthony has been in that spot until tonight. Third down, Taj Boyd. Protection holds, sideline, and a beautiful leaping catch by Sammy Watkins.
We're talking about pass protection. They actually kept a tight end that time to help out on that right side. If you give Taj Boyd time to throw, he's going to find somebody downfield. Watkins makes the play, and this is the concern. Here comes the tempo for Florida State.
That's Brandon Ford with the H-back. Ellington is the running back, and Taj Boyd pulls it out. Look for the quick screen. Threw it back to the speed man, and Ellington on the far side. Ellington across the 30-yard line before he's pushed out by Joyner. A beautiful look by Taj Boyd that time.
Brent, this is not a screen. The entire offensive line, watch the line, how they just wait. See him just sitting there? It almost looks like, oh, what's the snap count? They're just deking the defense, and then eventually they get him out of position, and when you give Ellington just a little crease, he can go a long way.
First down and 10, the ball at the 25-yard line after Watkins' first catch of the year. Play action, Taj Boyd on the move. Remember, he's 15 pounds lighter this year. When he's on the move, a step quicker, McAllister brought him down.
Well, that's the difference right now with Taj Boyd is he's not forcing the throws. Last year, he might have forced this. This year, he is more elusive, but he's also just more mature. He's more disciplined with the football. He understands, hey, listen, I'll get us to 2nd 8 or 2nd 9 instead of trying to throw into coverage and not have a chance to make a play.
Watkins in motion. Swings around on the jet sweep, but he's short of the first down.
Little touch pass there from Taj Boyd. The jet sweep makes the defense have to really respect the outside, the perimeter game. The quick passes, the jet sweeps, and when you get too concerned about that, you get the power running from Ellington and the play action deep ball. There's a lot to deal with and digest for this Florida State defense.
Watkins is now toward the bottom of your screen in this formation. They continue to move him around. Taj keep all the way. He's short of that first down. Decision time for Clemson. 4th down coming up. Do they try to tack the field goal? But knowing it's a high-scoring game and they've got just that for the first down, let's see what Dabo decides.
Yeah, he didn't hesitate. Bringing the kicker out. Great play, by the way, that time by 97 McAllister to get off his block and get into the face that time of Taj Boyd.
So now the defense over on that Clemson side knows it's got to buckle up. At the very best, they'll have a 3-point advantage after this 33-yard attempt. It's a fake. They quickly set up the fake. Got the first down. Whoa, now.
Yeah,
where have we seen a fake kick in this series?
This spot will be interesting. It looks like the first down. It is, yeah.
So here we come.
Hey, Florida State
Dabo had that in his hip pocket. He did that,
and he didn't hesitate on purpose.
And that's
he was like, get him out. And that's usually a sign. Yeah,
absolutely.
And Florida State was ready for it. Carradine made a good effort there. You see the safety. I mean, they were expecting it. Brooks 31's ready.
It's close.
Really is.
It's real close.
Might take another peek at this just because it's such a big play. This is even a better angle.
They shovel it in on the inside on that fake to Darrell Smith. Darrell Smith is one of the Tigers' fullbacks. He's a junior out of Gadsden, Alabama, so he does pick it up. But now Taj Boyd goes up under center, and now did they challenge this?
Jimbo was going crazy with the official trying to get his attention.
Remember, he has one challenge.
The head coach wants to challenge the ruling on the field of a first down.
That's an early time to use this now.
And that's what he's like, let's go now.
He said, I want to challenge. You could read his lips.
It's so hard to be able to look at this, Brent.
This is very close now.
It is.
On this replay, I wasn't convinced. So instant replay, we'll take the look. Tom Zamorski is our referee, ACC. Frank Kosman is upstairs, the technical man, and he thinks it's important to try to get the ball right here.
Well,
deadlocked at 7, and you can't blame him, but at the same token, you might want to have that in your hip pocket. I don't know.
Well, it's just such a, even though it's early, there's just so much going on here.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands.
Yeah,
first down.
It's hard to be able to turn the spot over.
Exactly.
They always typically going to stick with the call down in the field.
So now a fresh set of downs. Sellout crowd still trying to help this ACC crew.
And Sammy
There's
Watkins,
that pistol looking. Where's Sammy, Herbie?
Out here, out to the outside. Coming in motion.
Here he comes, straight up the middle. A burst. Coming toward the 5-yard line on 1st and 10. Remember, the first time he touched the ball as a running back last week, he went 58 yards for a touchdown.
Didn't you find it interesting? Chad Morris said, you know, we studied Oklahoma State this offseason and looked at how did they use Justin Blackmon. Chad Morris felt it with Sammy Watkins, we want to move him around. Receiver, he's in motion, he's in the backfield. Different ways to be able to take advantage of his skill set.
Coming back with him. And this is Ellington reaching for the touchdown. Got it. 2 touchdowns for the Tigers.
The matchup we wanted to see about this Clemson offensive line against Florida State's defensive line, because of the way Taj Boyd is helping this team out with the balanced attack and the effort there by Ellington. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns for the Clemson offense.
And you have to say, folks, on those last 2 runs, that inexperienced offensive line is holding up for Coach Sweeney.
The ruling on the field of a touchdown is under further review.
Now, that's not a challenge. Of course, every play can be reviewed, and so the technicians upstairs want to take a look to make sure that the ball broke the plane before the knee went down. You be the official.
He's in right there. It's over. It's a touchdown. I tell you, Andre Ellington, with all the attention to Sammy Watkins, 2 players on this offense that don't get the attention they deserve. Andre Ellington gives them the power and the presence in the inside, and DeAndre Hopkins on the outside.
Review. The ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
A lot of firepower on this offense.
Catanzaro on for the extra point. He, of course, was set up for the field goal. Remember, it was the fake field goal, the first down by Darrell Smith, and it was close. 2 running plays behind that offensive line, and the Tigers now lead at 14-7. So Andre Ellington leads the ACC in rushing, averaging better than 100 yards a game. And after Watkins ran it for the first play, Ellington took it to the house. The Noles turn. Fielded at the goal line by Joyner. And Joyner is short of the 20-yard line. 3 commercial off to the end. Here comes that option look pitch to Thompson. Stacked up, Herbie.
It's a big drive here early in this game. See if Clemson's defense can have an opportunity to stop an offense tonight. Really good job by the line. But linebackers from Clemson tonight hold the key to the success of Clemson's attack, because Florida State wants to run the football, and the linebackers are going to be challenged by this offensive line. They got to get off blocks and stop them to not allow Florida State to get their play-action passing game done. That time, a really good play there by Stephon Anthony.
Greg Dent is the slot receiver in on this second down. They'll swing it to Thompson on the outside. He's an outstanding receiver. Out of bounds at the 21. For an update, Robert Flores in the studio trying to keep up with everything tonight.
Knocked out of bounds by Travis Blanks.
That's Bill Snyder kind of football. It's sloppy, it's ugly. You peek up in the 4th quarter, and you're within a possession, and you find a way to try to win it with Colin Klein.
Noles need to get to the 27-yard line for a first down. EJ is going to keep it, and he'll run for the first down. Slides down at the 39-yard line. So EJ Manuel hurting them with his feet.
Yep, man coverage, blitz here from Anthony. The linebackers are coming. Good job by Manuel being patient. He buys a little time here. He slides, trying to find a receiver. Then he says, hey, man coverage underneath. I'm going to take off. He's got the speed to be able to easily pick up that first down. Good patience and nice job of recognizing the coverage that time by Manuel.
2 carries, 45 yards for number 3. 5th-year senior from Virginia Beach. Both of these quarterbacks are from the state of Virginia here tonight. Thompson is forced out of bounds, and he was met with heavy resistance here on the near side. Crawford, one of the defenders there.
You know, Brent Venables coming over from that Oklahoma team we were referring to, talking about trying to change the culture, not so much of the entire program, obviously, but just of the defensive mentality. This is a team that gave up 70 last year to West Virginia. He said, when I first got there, I was just trying to instill confidence, trying to get them to buy into believing again in themselves. And he really used that game as kind of hey, let's challenge him a little bit with that. Get him ready to come into a game like this.
Under center play action. Going to go deep. Fire is complete. And sliding out was Dent. Greg Dent, who I mentioned, is a junior from Belle Glade, Florida.
There's the play action, and the linebackers come up, giving them a nice big hole behind that coverage. Again, man-to-man. Clemson's willing to take their chances because they have to stop the run. They're playing a lot of man, and Den is one of these receivers that can get separation and make it easier for a throw for E.J. Manuel.
Now James Wilder, son of a well-known NFL running back, checks in as the back. He's a sophomore. He's strong. Blocks for him. Complete. And Kelvin Benjamin, a redshirt freshman, also from Belle Glade, as Florida State has recruited so well in that part of Florida, which is down south, that is west of West Palm Beach. And there's some fine football players come out of Belle Glade.
Time Clemson sitting in more of a zone, and right now E.J. Manuel and both, again, Taj Boyd, it's hard to be critical of anything they're doing. Recognizing the coverage is the best thing that they're doing. That time zone, receiver sat in the hole, made a nice throw.
Now Kenny Shaw is the wide man off to the short side of the field to the quarterback's right. Manuel running, keeping it again. He's going to force Venables to change the defense. Manuel is torching the outside of that Clemson D.
You and I talked about Nick O'Leary, who's a receiving tight end. He's learned to become more physical. That time he did a really good job to seal this on the outside. Watch his block. Gets a nice job with the linebacker this time, Anthony. He's become more physical, and I think a lot of times Florida State's able to get outside on their stretch play, and it's not just the linemen, it's also the tight ends and the backs that do the blocking.
Pretty well-known grandpa, a fellow by the name of Jack Nicklaus, is here tonight watching grandson. 1st and 10 now. Play action again. High and incomplete. He wanted O'Leary, and he overthrew it. Let's take a look at tonight's UPS efficiency update, Herbie, and let's hone in on E.J. Manuel.
Well, again, off to a really good start. What he's been able to do this year, I think just becoming, again, more of a leader, making better decisions as we've seen here in this first quarter. And again, I just think it's when a quarterback has more command in college football, he has more reps, always talk about the game slowing down. It becomes easier to make better decisions and quicker decisions, and that's what E.J. Manuel's been able to do.
That was his first incompletion as he overthrew O'Leary. Now they bring back Thompson and Pryor, and there's a penalty flag.
False start, 35 of the offense, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Nick O'Leary getting some airtime he didn't want.
You know, his grandfather gets pretty fired up. Jack Nicklaus is a big...
That's his wife, Barbara, there, right to the left of the Golden Bear. And what a lovely, lovely woman. Does so much for charity down in Palm Beach County, and it's great to see her. Jack, get out of the way. We want to talk about Barbara. Oh, there we are. Here's the ball. 2nd down now. Here comes Manuel. Deflected. So now that puts him in 3rd and long. 2 incompletions and a penalty as Deshaun Williams got a paw on it.
You know, when you can't get to the quarterback, you've got to do something to try to affect the play, and he's the nose guard going up against Brian Stork, and he can't get there. Stork does a good job of keeping him out. Nice big pocket there for Manuel to make his throw, but big fella 99 Williams he's only 6'1", but he got about 2 inches off the ground and knocked that ball down.
3rd and 15 for Manuel and the nose. 4 wideouts. They swing to a wide open Thompson. Thompson at the 30, short of the 1st down and this will bring up a 4th down for Fisher and the Noles. They'll send the kicker out, I believe.
One of the things when you have a back like Thompson, just a check down, just to be able to get it to somebody. I mean, you put it out there and you can see what kind of speed he has there in the open field.
Ball is going to be put down very close to the 35. Make it the 34-yard. I'm making a 44-yard field goal coming up here. The holder is Kason Beatty. He's also the punter, Beatty is. And he'll put it down for Hopkins. Long enough. No good. Off to the side. The underdog leads by a touchdown. Well, Clemson leading by a score of 14-7 as we continue Dr. Pepper's road to the championships. Remember what Herbie and I said earlier, the winner takes dead aim at a possible trip to Miami and that Discover Orange Bowl down there. Play action, Taj Boyd pulls it away wide open in the middle of the field. What a great ball handler he is as he hits Brown, Jerron Brown.
Watch how he rides this to try to get the linebackers up, just trying to make them bite, which they did, and then he has to get rid of the ball quickly. There's two safeties that are high. That ball has to be thrown, coming off of that fake in a hurry and like a dart, and he made a great throw.
Clemson assistants went out to Nevada to study the pistol, and they come back with it, and Ellington squirts for a first down on that far side. They studied at the brain of the master, because it was Coach Alt out there in Reno who really decided to use the pistol, where the quarterback is a little bit closer to the center and the tailback right behind him. And now you can see Taj, who moves all over the field. Now you can see them backing up right there, Herbie. They're going to show this formation again to him.
It's a nice wrinkle to add to their repertoire.
Straight back, in trouble. Down at the 48-yard line. Let's check in down below with Heather Cox. Heather?
Brent, defensive coordinator Mark Stoops gathered his defense, said, we can handle this tempo. Don't get caught off guard. And guys, in preparation for this tempo, Stoops is having his defense wear wristbands for the first time. They usually use hand signals and cards from the sidelines, but they don't think they have enough time for that tonight.
It'll give you a headache if you're a defensive coordinator trying to stop an offense that does as much as the Tigers do. Play action, in trouble. Sack back at the 40-yard line by Carradine. Tank Carradine rolls in with a big sack.
Remember we talked about Gifford Timothy, the concerns they may have here with pass protection. That's the concern, the matchup right here on the outside. A little confusion because of the twist. He stepped down, leaving Carradine, one of their best pass rushers, free to be able to come in on Boyd. The last two plays, they've gotten pressure on Taj Boyd.
Lose 11. Trying to get to him again. Takes off and enough, throws it. And a diving attempt hit the ground. Incomplete. The umpire dropped back and made the call.
Ball is short. And Brent, even if he made the catch, he's short of the first down. That was different. Mark Stoops, the adjustments that you just heard Heather Cox talking about, clearly working. They cranked up the notch and intensity up front and finally put a little pressure on Taj Boyd.
Rashad Green is back deep. Now remember, Greg Reed was kicked off the team, and he returned punts here very successfully. Well, folks, Green took one to the house last week against Wake Forest. An 80-yard return. He's standing back at the 20-yard line. There's a penalty flag. Now I believe they got a timeout instead.
Clemson. It's their second timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
So they were well in danger of a penalty flag, and now Clemson has used a pair of timeouts, as has Florida State here. Well, 1 minute still remaining in the first quarter. It'll be 4th and 23 for your punter. Herbie, does anything surprise you? Now, we kind of expected an explosive game, but anything stand out that would surprise you right now?
The thing that I've been really impressed with is the fact that Clemson won the toss. They wanted the football, and they went right down the field. 5 plays, put a touchdown up on the board, and I think it got themselves to believe that they can win this game, and it really quieted this crowd, and it's been a game that they've been able to manage since then. The adjustments are going to be the difference in this game. Now everybody knows what the plays and the formations. Now you see it. Now who does a better job in the chess match will be the difference ultimately in this game.
So now Benton back to punt. Short and high. Let's see what Green does. Fair catch signal. And he makes a catch at the 25-yard line, and that's where E.J. Manuel from Virginia Beach will put it in play. Okay, Herbie, do you know what the E.J. stands for?
No, I do not.
Okay?
What do you know
why there's no periods in that? He's Eric Jr., but his dad didn't want him to be known as Junior, so he said, let's just make it E.J.
Like it.
Okay? That's why it is.
Okay. I'm glad that wasn't the Aflac.
No, the Affleck's much tougher tonight.
It's tougher than that. Okay.
First down now for E.J. He sends everybody out. Offensive line does a good job, and he comes back with O'Leary working underneath. So he's got something going with Nick O'Leary here tonight.
He does, and I think they're being able to try to get after the linebackers, between the linebackers and the safeties, when Clemson is sitting back in zone. What I've been a little bit surprised at, now Florida State's a balanced team. They want to run the ball. It's Jimbo Fisher. I mean, think about Nick Saban's mentality. They want to run the ball first, make you commit to stop the run, and then they want to throw the ball. Tonight, they've been a little bit more shotgun, looking for matchups to be able to throw the ball.
They're going to run Thompson. Quick cutback, look out! He's got great speed. And he's finally taken out of bounds by Jonathan Meeks. He was the last man who could have stopped him.
Brett, watch this stutter step. I'm not comparing him to Reggie Bush, but the way he accelerates with his jump cuts, like a LaMichael James type of guy. Boom, 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 right there. I mean, you don't see most backs with the ability to bounce like that and then accelerate in the middle of the process of the cut.
He went for 74 and 80-yard touchdowns last week. Penalty flags, false start on the Noles. This time he goes 41 yards.
52 of the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
You know, you mentioned, Herbie, you said, and Chris Thompson exploded for 197 yards.
Yeah.
We should point out to some, that was the first half. Okay? Oh, by the way, he didn't have to mop up in that 52-0 win.
Isn't it great, his story, and we'll talk about it.
It's wonderful.
Throughout the night.
Broke his back.
Broke his back against Wake Forest and comes all the way back. Some people didn't think he'd ever play football again, and now he's the featured back again his senior year.
So here we go. First down. They need 15, remember, after that penalty. Ride Thompson, E.J. back, come middle, O'Leary to the 5-yard line. That'll bring a smile to the Golden Bear.
Look at the action in the backfield here, Brent. They see the guard, Matthias, pulling. You see the back. There's a lot of action in the background. So the linebackers see this movement. They step up. Nice job of waiting to find the window. He had to get the ball thrown over top of Willard, who didn't quite commit to the play-action fake, but a lot of movement in front of the linebackers froze him long enough to hit that play.
O'Leary played at Dwyer High School.
Charge timeout, Florida State.
That's their last.
30-second timeout.
That's their third timeout. Remember, he burned one on the challenge. So there are no timeouts remaining here in the first half for the Noles. That gets a little tricky if you're scrambling late for a field goal. All right, Herbie.
Here we
got a little moment. Here comes the half flag.
Who
Who are the 4 true freshmen to have earned AP first team All-American honor? Now, you know there's a reason why I'm asking.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'll give you that particular hint. There are 4 who've done it all time.
I know a couple
And there's
quick
an
ones.
impressive list.
I know a couple running.
Give me the quick ones.
Herschel Walker.
You
Had
got
to
it.
be.
I knew you were going to get Herschel.
Adrian Peterson, either his sophomore or his freshman year.
I'm going to give you Adrian.
Adrian Peterson,
That's
you give
it.
me?
I'm going to give you Adrian.
And then
You better think about the other 2.
okay, because there's been a few.
Here we go now.
Here we come. We're back
First
in the game.
down and goal. Pryor is there. And James Wilder, the big back, is behind Pryor. Pryor leads the way. Wilder steps to the right. Wilder, touchdown. James Wilder. If you follow number 24, folks, he'll take into the action for the Noles. What a dandy fullback.
And what's great about Pryor's blocking, he's a former running back. He's a selfless guy, and you're right. He's a guy typically is going to lead you to where the ball is, and I'd love to see Wilder get in there. A lot of depth in the backfield. Thompson, Freeman, this time Wilder, and a good job up front by the line getting a good push.
Now it's Dustin Hopkins for the tie. Chris Revel will put it down. He is the holder from right here in Tallahassee. Nails it. Deadlocked.
Brent, Jonathan Meeks, a safety, actually comes free and has a good look to be able to try to make a play. Nobody picks him up. He just misses it. But what's starting to become a theme are the Clemson linebackers. This time, Anthony gets locked up with the guard, Trey Jackson. They're not getting off of blocks, and when you're not getting off of blocks, you're not going to make tackles.
Dustin Hopkins with the ball on the tee. Watkins standing back on the Tigers 4. Watkins. And he's really dangerous if he gets a seam. Not this time. Great coverage. And for an update, here's Robert Flores in the studio. Robert? Wow. 4 interceptions, 2 on the other side.
Last year he got away with those throws where Junior Hemingway made the plays. Sounds like it's not going that way tonight.
Taj Boyd, remember, Clemson punted after their last offensive surge failed. They've come back with a power running game behind the middle of that line. Freeman, Beasley, Shatley.
I'd love to get the pulse right now on Taj Boyd. I've been so impressed with his leadership skills tonight. Remember, second year running this offense. Mark Stoops making adjustments, doing everything he can to slow Boyd down.
2nd down and 7. And Hopkins, who caught the first touchdown pass of the game.
It's a timing route, gets the ball out of his hands. Just any way they can try to get Hopkins matched up one-on-one, they want to try to take advantage of it. See the jam there by Rhodes. He gets off of it, which is impressive. Rhodes is a big corner, 6'2", about 215 pounds.
They ride the running back Watkins again to the 31-yard line. You know, you think across the way to Chad Morris, who was the offensive coordinator. And he was a legendary high school coach back in Texas outside of Austin. And because he was a head coach in high school, he just prefers to be down on the field. And somebody, Herbie, as you know, with that much offense, normally it's up with the booth.
There's 2 fouls on the play. 13 of the defense was offsides. 70 of the offense was holding. Those penalties offset. We'll repeat first down.
That's Gifford Timothy was holding on that play. And Ronald Darby, an outstanding freshman defensive back, guilty on the other side.
Just an amazing story to have Chad Morris down there. You're right. More often than not, these masterminds, a lot of times you see upstairs. But remember, he's a Gus Malzahn disciple, and Gus is downstairs as well when he calls his plays.
First down and 10. Taj stands tall, goes sideline, and it is complete. And that's Hopkins again, short of the first down.
Darby, the true freshman from the Maryland area, who they think can be a big-time corner, is just a young player. As the season goes on, he gets more experience. They think he can be a big factor for this defense, but he's matched up that time with Hopkins.
Mark Stoops goes to a little run support defense now. 2nd down and 2. Ellington, the defense holds. Stuffed him. So Stoops makes the correct guesstimate on the sideline that Clemson was going to come with a run in that situation, and they did.
He's gambling here a bit because he's got some young personnel that he believes in. And Chad Morris, I'm sure, eventually is going to see if he can get the young freshman who's talented in Darby matched up one-on-one for a potential double move and a deep ball. They're eventually going to go that way and try to take advantage of that.
So the officials sorting things out.
But the only thing that could slow Clemson's
got
offense
the first down.
It's just the chain.
I thought
game
he was inches short. Taj Boyd checks over to the sideline for the signal. Dabo Swinney and Jimbo Fisher traded touchdowns last year at Clemson, but the Tigers were able to score the most, and they won it, I believe it was 35-30 in Death Valley. Here we are tied at 14. First down and 10. Taj Boyd keeps it himself. Got a couple of yards, and there's a player who is down. That's Warner with the helmet coming off. He's got to come out for a play, remember, unless there was somebody who illegally yanked it off. So Warner will come to the sideline.
He actually made the play there. A big lineman came down on top of him after he stuffed that play at the line of scrimmage, but it was not illegal.
He's a wonderful story, too, from Germany. There's the deep ball overthrew. Watkins and the quarterback not on the same page that time, and it'll be third down.
And that's something that Sammy Watkins, back for just his second game, still kind of working some of the kinks out, being back and being a part of the offense. You can see he kind of shrugged his shoulders and looked back at Taj Boyd. But in that case, Taj may have just been throwing that ball away just because he didn't have anybody open.
So it is 3rd and 10. Boyd in trouble, scrambles out of it on the move, and he had to throw that one away. So twice in a row now, Clemson forced to punt after scoring touchdowns on their first 2 possessions.
Well, give Mark Stoops a lot of credit here with these adjustments. This is a coverage sack confusion. They brought a zone pressure. They're sitting back conservative with their zone look, but they've got everybody checked down. There's nowhere to go with the football. And up front, I think the offensive line that time did the best they could to hold up, but eventually Boyd had to bail because of the coverage by Stoops' group.
Rashad Green back deep again. Benton is your punter. Knowles set a return. Fair catch is the signal. Dropped it. Clemson, I believe, jumped on it. We'll sort it all out when we take another look, but I believe he put it on the ground after signaling for the fair catch. And there's our first turnover.
There was a lot of activity going on in front of him. And I think enough of a distraction where he wasn't able to focus on the ball. You could see down by his legs, but that is not illegal. He lost his focus because of everything that was happening in front of him, and Green simply dropped the ball after calling the fair catch.
And Herbie, the snapper, recovered it. That was Philip Fagenbaum, a junior from Raleigh, North Carolina, who got down. Remember, it is legal, unlike the NFL where you've got the 2 gunners. Everybody can come downfield, and frequently in college football, your center can be lethal on punt coverage. So now Taj Boyd on first down, in trouble, tries to slip back the other way, breaks a tackle. Here he comes to the left. Wow, did he make the most out of that? What a great job by the quarterback.
235 pounds a year ago, about 218 pounds this year. The weight that he lost definitely has allowed him to be more elusive, and instead of being sacked for a 5-yard loss, he picks up 4 or 5 yards. Great play.
Ready to go again. Watkins is to his left. Ellington runs in that direction. Ellington trying to reach for the first down. Let's see where they spot that ball here on the near side. Remember, that was just a 2nd down.
Would have bounced that to the outside against this Florida State speed. You cannot allow penetration in through the interior, the offensive line. Clemson holding up very well with their guards, their 2 guards and their center, giving Ellington and the lead blocker enough room to get around to the outside.
So we have a player who is shaken up. That is Xavier Rhodes is down, and of course that will stop the play before it begins with an injured player down in this situation. It's going to be a 3rd and 1. Clemson's personnel included the fullback Darrell Smith, who had trotted onto the field.
Remember, Greg Reed removed from the team. He and Xavier Rhodes could have been the best tandem coming into this year. You take Rhodes out, we'll see how long he's out. Now you've got a true freshman in Darby, along with Nick Waysome right now lined up at corner against all that speed from Clemson.
Now they change personnel and formation again. Here comes Watkins on the jet sweep. Taj keeps it for the first down. So the jet sweep, just as you said earlier in the broadcast, that freezes your linebackers just a touch in case they're going to sweep with him.
Well, you have to respect a guy like Sammy Watkins going in motion on that jet sweep, because what if they hand it off to him? So you instinctively react and start to move to the defense's left, and now you got a quarterback who's a threat running. So between Boyd running and Ellington running in the middle, it's quite a tandem to deal with.
Ball at the Knowles 17. Taj Boyd fires complete. Touchdown, Brandon Ford. the graduate student from Wando, South Carolina, who has replaced the John Mackey Award winner with a 17-yard scoring strike from Taj Boyd.
I think there's confusion on that play in the secondary for Florida State. It was a wheel route, a lot of attention being paid to Sammy Watkins, not as much being paid to Brandon Ford. You could see the frustration after the play there. By that time, Rhodes.
Spencer Benton, the holder. Cannonzaro tacks it up. So our first turnover. Remember, Green coughed up a fair catch on a punt, and Clemson strikes for the go-ahead touchdown. Herbie, you ever seen a roller derby?
Those are the time ago.
Those are the Tallahassee Roller Girls. They got a big one tonight in New Orleans against the Big Easy Rollers.
Did you ever call any of that action back in the day?
I called everything. So here we go. Clemson leading 21-14. At the goal line, here comes LaMarcus Joyner again. Joyner swings to the outside. Fine return. Out of bounds at about the 31-yard line.
We're going to go back to the touchdown. Sammy Watkins right here is going to get work to the middle of the field. Brown's on the outside. The touchdown comes from here. He's just a little wheel route down the sideline. Watch the linebacker right here because he does not run with him. Christian Jones respects the run fake, kind of sits up there, and it really put, all due respect, it puts Xavier Rhodes in a little bit of a pickle. He's got a receiver behind him, and he's got a tight end in front of him. That's why he was so frustrated. He didn't get help, and it looked like it was Christian Jones that was supposed to be there to help him out.
Now Green in motion for the Noles. And they're going to fire it to him on that quick screen. And he is out to the 41 trying to make amends for what happened on that punt. So this puts Florida State second and short. You know, one thing about E.J. Manuel, the coaches know how tough he is. Broke his leg early against Notre Dame in that bowl game last year, and he finished up for the Noles, led them to a comeback win, and it is a first down pounding that time to the 45, and Anthony makes the stop for Clemson. Well, what a good looking football play. If you're an NFL scout, you have to be watching tonight, you just write down the name Lonnie Pryor. Now, how about the 4th, 5th round?
Yeah,
you're looking for a football player.
He's Stanley Havili, from USC. He can block, he can catch the ball out of the backfield. He'll pick up pass protection, pick up the blitz, run the football. Obviously, he's just a great player.
EJ with play action. Got a lot of time. Nobody open downfield, so the dump off was to Thompson. Wow. So, Herbie, we've given you a lot of time now. You came up with Herschel Walker and Adrian Peterson.
I got to say prime time. Deion Sanders?
No, not very good guess. He's not on that list. The 4 freshmen. Okay, there we are.
Oh,
Sammy Watkins is the reason why I'm asking it. Okay, but Marshall Faulk is one I couldn't remember. Isn't that great? San Diego State.
One.
There's your list, folks. The only 4 true freshmen ever have made the Associated Press. And man,
Sammy one is all-purpose, right?
Yeah, all-purpose. Okay. He's an all-purpose first team, right? Great list. All right, second down now. And picking his way is Thompson. Not much doing. I'll tell you right now, Venables front a little more aggressive. Starting to pick up the pace here a little bit.
You can see his intensity. He may have changed colors. It's kind of weird to see him in the purple and the orange. But he has that same vibrant attitude, and players love to play for him because of his energy. He's tried to simplify it. He's trying to avoid mental mistakes. It's a new defense for a lot of these players. You have some first-year starters, especially the 3 up front, trying to make them just play fast, understand what they're doing, especially tonight against the speed of Florida State.
3rd down and 5. The Noles need to reach Clemson's 45-yard line.
Soft coverage at the bottom here.
He'll check it in underneath, and he has got it. Dent, and he is down. And let's see did the ball come out? Let's take a look at this. He took a heavy hit. Clemson's indicating that the ball came out. We're going to take another look at this. Greg Dent, the junior. I think the
it was a big hit by
down. Take a look at
this. Look at Breland, the corner, come up here. It's going to be a matter of the knee. If it touches, I mean,
hang on. They're going to stop this. They're going to stop this. They're going to take a look at this. Hang on. Upstairs will never let him get this snap off.
No, there's no way. They're going to definitely take a look at it.
Now remember, I think on the field they ruled that he was down. But I thought a Clemson player jumped on that loose ball. And they said he was down at the 40-yard line. And upstairs, I think the receiver has just told the coach that he lost it. Well, Jimbo's body language indicates that he said, "I coughed it up, coach."
Brent, when they rule him down on the field, that's a pretty good look of it right there. But when they rule him down, for them to be able to reverse it, the defender's got to be able to jump on the ball quickly and continue the play, and he did.
There's no question. I mean, look at the white jerseys.
Oh, yeah, he's right there. They definitely recover it. It's just going to come down to that knee. Right here, boom.
Beasley, he was on the spot right there, wasn't he? Number 3.
Let's watch the knee here. See if the football is coming out. Knee is
well, if that's what they ruled, he's down. But is the ball loose?
Tough to overturn that based on what we've seen so far. What a hit by Breland, the corner.
There seems to be a little more confidence in Clemson's step defensively. With young players, they stop and think a lot. But tonight, right now, in this last couple of series, the Tigers seem to be moving with a little more authority.
But sometimes how your own offense is playing can have an impact on your own defense. And this defense might just be saying, hey, the way Taj and this offense is playing, let's pin our ears back a little bit. Let's be aggressive.
Instant replays taking a long look at this one. Manuel and the offense optimistic. He's back on the field. There's the youngster, Greg Dent. Here we go.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands.
A very relieved number 15. I think he was pointing at the replay official. Thank you very much. Ball at the 40-yard line now. Manuel and the Noles down by 7. 7:14 to go and ticking away.
A lot of short and intermediate throws. Clemson's trying to keep everything in front of them. At some point, Florida State's got to take some shots downfield to stretch them.
Sacked on the other side of the 50-yard line. Down goes EJ.
They actually that time wanted to have a chance for a double move, but they brought the corner from the left. You see him coming right by the tight end, O'Leary, who went out for the pass. Leary needs to be able to recognize that and be able to help out in pass protection.
That was Breland.
Corner comes off the edge like that. Tight end's got to recognize it and pick up that blitz.
Breland, a redshirt sophomore defensive back, and he got there quickly. And it puts Manuel in 2nd and 20, down by 7. From the gun. Dropping to Thompson underneath as the valve, and he's short of the 45-yard line. This will be 3rd and a bunch coming up.
Again, Clemson's plan here when Manuel's dropping back to throw, especially in these longer distance, just drop back, sink in coverage, leave the backs open underneath, leave the tight end open underneath, and then let's pursue the football. Let's run to the ball, make sure we're a good tackling team, and keep them well short of anywhere getting close to a first down.
He's 12 of 14, but for only 133 yards. So they've been short routes for the most part here tonight. He's been unable to connect on a deep ball, and now it's 3rd and 15, needing to get to the 30-yard line. Taking off. Not going to get the first down. He's down at the 39-yard line. Williams brings him down. Along with Beasley.
A little stunt up front. And even though this time Grady Jarrett did not come up with the actual sack, it was the movement up front that caused enough confusion by this offensive line. You see how he had a little stunt there, forces Manuel to get uncomfortable. He has to step up. By then his tackles come off of their ability to block. Manuel tried to pick it up with his legs, but that's a great job this time by the defensive line by Clemson.
Look who's back for the punt. Sammy Watkins standing on the 10. Beatty hangs it real high. There's the fair catch signal. And that fair catch at the 8. And the defender has to be a little bit careful that you don't get too close to that man. We've got a timeout. Clemson leading Florida State by 7. Hey, Herbie, did you ever sing to the Buckeyes when you were in the locker room?
No, you tell a few jokes and maybe in a huddle, but that's impressive.
It is,
he looks like he's singing tonight, the way he just looks very calm in his hostile environment.
10 of 14 for 170 yards and 2 touchdowns. And he's going to put it up for the 15th time tonight. Has to throw it away. In trouble from his own end zone, and he just chucked it away.
I think the right side of this offensive line, when he throws the ball, that's where he's going to face the biggest challenge. Not just because I think there's some issues there at tackle with the young sophomore, but also Bjorn Werner is lined up more often than not to Taj Boyd's right, the defense's left side. And Werner's become the go-to guy when it comes to pressuring quarterbacks. He and Carradine.
2nd down and 10. 4:40 to go. And Taj in the end zone fires high to the tight end Ford and picked up about 9 yards on that play. So he's found Ford for a touchdown, and here on this great safety valve pass more or less to him.
You talk about big shoes to fill. Dwayne Allen, who you touched on earlier, who's now up in the NFL. Ford, a former receiver, doing his best that he can. He had 4 drops in the Auburn game. But there's a matchup right now with Ford, who just scored a touchdown, going up against Christian Jones. Ford's getting the best of it.
Big time running play. And here comes Watkins on that end around, and he steps for the first down. They could not get to Sammy Watkins, the sophomore from Fort Myers, Florida, and they'll move the chains for Clemson. That's a big first down right now.
Yeah, and eventually they've been faking the jet sweep. They've been faking the Sammy Watkins. This time on 3rd and short, little touch pass there. Wasn't a handoff, just a touch pass, like a shovel pass from Boyd to Watkins for the first.
If Morris has got time, he's going to try another strike downfield. He'll be very content with Ellington, who breaks a tackle and keeps on going. And there's an injured player down there, Bjorn Werner, who's had a respiratory problem much of this week and didn't practice a whole lot on Thursday. May have taken a blow in the abdomen area there, and gets back up. The youngster who grew up playing soccer, I guess it's the hand he's coming off with now. What a great story.
Oh, it's amazing. Amazing the way he's able to now just speak English. When he came over from Germany, didn't have any opportunity to really learn English, and came in. He told a story about flying into New York and not really knowing anybody. And we'll go into that in here a little bit.
2nd and 9. Complete to Hopkins, who makes a nifty grab. Helmet comes off. And if it wasn't ripped off, he's on the sideline for one play.
This is a big matchup that Taj Boyd and Clemson want to win. The backside throw to number 6 is a big part of this offense. Florida State knew that coming in. This is up against a young freshman, Darby, and this is something that Hopkins will do. You leave him one-on-one on the backside, he's going to make you pay for it. And if you pay too much attention to Sammy Watkins, number 6 has every bit the same ability to make big plays in this offense.
Watkins lines up in the backfield. Now he takes it on the sweep to the right. Very patiently moving down the field now. Chad Morris working away on that clock with a 7-point advantage.
Brett, look at all the movement. The lineman moving. The back's going left. It's like a Chinese fire drill. I mean, everybody's going left and right and up and down. And you're a linebacker and you're trying to say, what am I reading? What am I looking at? It's almost like going back to Barry Switzer when he used to run the triple option out of the wishbone, and you try to figure out, did the fullback have it? Did the quarterback have it? Is he going to throw it to Keith Jackson? Who's got the football?
2nd down and 4. And Ellington is short of the first down. So here comes a 3rd down for the Tigers. They got 2:46. They'd like to pick up the first and not punt it back to the Noles right now.
And the best way to defeat all that movement is with a defensive line that can get penetration. Chase those plays down from behind, pin your ears back. You can't lose your aggressive nature because of all the movement and window dressing.
So they go to the Wildcat, and Watkins is going to throw it. Humphreys on the field, and he couldn't hit him. Adam Humphreys checked in with the play. Watkins off the Wildcat. Big gamble by Chad Morris.
Perfect time to call it. The aggressive safety, LaMarcus Joyner, is going to come up and try to make the play. He's thinking, okay, if you have Ellington back there and Sammy Watkins back there, I've got to come up and make a play and help out. I'm not going to give up the first down. He bid on it just enough, and Humphreys was behind him for a touchdown, but that's a big ask for Sammy. He can do a lot of things. That time he couldn't quite make the throw.
And now going back deep is Rashad Green again. Remember, he fumbled the last one. That led to a Clemson touchdown. This one drives Green to the 2-yard line. Coming back. Cuts right. Off balance and down at the 31-yard line. 2:02 left. Benton gets downfield on him, the punter. You're watching ESPN Saturday Night Football on ABC. First down and 10. Ball at the 31-yard line. Here comes E.J. Manuel. Lots of time. Remember, the Noles are out of timeouts, but of course, clock stops in the college game after the first down. Manuel keeping it all the way and barges across to the 38-yard line as we take a look, Herbie, at the Pacific Life game summary.
The game got started quickly. I mean, you're talking about Clemson going right down the field, 5 plays, putting up points. They have 21. Florida State's tried to make some adjustments defensively, try to slow down Clemson. This has a feel like whoever has the ball last may end up winning this game. It's a big possession right before the half.
Manuel stands tall, fires incomplete, and very well covered. O'Leary was the intended target. Willard on him, and we check in with Robert Flores for an update. Well, I might make a substitution. I don't know about that Peyton Manning fella. 3rd down and 4 here, Robert. Manuel drops it off to Thompson. Got the first down for the Noles and out of bounds. Well, we got lots of time now. 1:27 with this explosive offense.
They rushed 2 and dropped 9 into coverage. Actually dropped Goodman, the defensive end, thinking that if 9 people are in coverage, he's not going to be able to find anybody, but he got the ball quickly out to Thompson. Once Thompson caught it with his speed, easy first down.
Manuel back in the gun. Goes over to the far side. Incomplete. Too high for Dent. Greg Dent. Incomplete. Well, the halftime report. Northwestern Mutual coming up next. And Jesse Palmer will be along. He'll be talking about, he's got to be proud of those Gators the way they're playing.
Yeah,
huh?
Yeah, I think that from the game at Texas A&M to right now, they start to become a big factor in the SEC East. Trey Jackson lost his helmet to right guard, had to come out for this play.
Manuel back into the pocket, swings it on out to Thompson. They got a lot of running room. 35, tightrope, and finally out of bounds. But he's at the 23-yard line where he finally was pushed out.
Perfect time to call this by Jimbo Fisher. They brought the linebackers. Manuel waited. He baited them and waited, and then dumps it down to Thompson, who has 3 blockers downfield, and he gets huge yards, gets him well into field goal range here with 1:14.
He was very close on that sideline. I thought he might have been out of bounds before that. We'll see if instant replay stops it. They have not. Remember, they're taking a look at everything upstairs, and they're not going to stop it. First down and 10. Manuel dumps off over the middle. Here comes Green, and he is down at the 15-yard line, and that's blanks.
They're trying to mix up their coverages right now. That time there's man coverage underneath, and the speed of Green able to pull away there.
Here's where burning all 3 timeouts hurts now as they come down. Stays in bounds.
Got to get out of bounds.
Wilder.
It's important for Manuel.
Is down in the field. The clock continuing to run now.
Important for players to remind each other that you're out of timeouts. This is where E.J. Manuel needs to be talking to his backs and his receivers and reminding them no timeouts and about the clock. You got to be proactive.
Less than half a minute here on this 3rd down and short. And a penalty. Was there a false start here?
Looked like the right guard may have moved.
False start. 75 of the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Cameron Irving over there, your left tackle, is guilty on that one.
Going back to your point about wasting these timeouts and not having them, all of a sudden you look at the sidelines, you're trying to get the call, and the clock's going down, and there's just urgency, and there's just people start to panic. They start to panic.
Clemson gets a couple of defensive players off the field on the far side.
By rule, inside the last minute, when the offensive foul stops the clock, there is a 10-second runoff. Please reset the game clock to 12 seconds.
And that rule, I believe, was implemented last year.
Yeah, he's talking about firing it.
Now,
it's third down. You can't fire it on fourth down.
I'm not sure that I wouldn't run a field goal team out there.
Especially with the kicker they have.
But they've got a lot of weapons, so they're going to see if they can strike. If you get the first down, they might be able to stop it at time. There's the fade in zone. Jump ball incomplete. And that was Kelvin Benjamin, the intended target, with 4 seconds left. Now they quickly get Hopkins out on the field. So he did have enough time by throwing that ball into the end zone. Either going to be 6 or incomplete, and now your field goal team quickly is out.
Take a shot there, just put it up in the air. 6'5", going up against a much smaller corner at 5'10".
Missed a 44-yarder. This one a 37-yarder. Dustin Hopkins, the senior from Houston. Rebel will put it down. Pulls it to the left. No good. He's 0 for 2. But E.J. Manuel and the Noles will get the ball to start the second half, because remember, Clemson took it. And let's check in with Heather Cox down below. Heather.
Brent, thanks so much. Coach, with an atmosphere like this, how did the first 2 series and the first 2 touchdowns really set the tone for this team early?
Well, we talked about throwing the first punches, and I felt like we'd get the ball whether we received it and took it or they got it and played defense. So really proud of the start. Hey, we're battling on defense. You know, it's just 2 good football teams going at it. And, you know, right now they've made a couple more mistakes. We missed a big opportunity for a touchdown. They've missed a couple opportunities. So, hey, we got a touchdown lead going in, and it really just makes it a tie ball game, because when you come in this environment, they got 7 on the board when you show up. Now,
E.J. Manuel and Florida State have had success running stretch plays to the outside. Do you make any adjustments against that in the second half?
If we don't, they're going to keep running them. You know, they're cutting us down. They're doing a good job getting to our backer. He's been chopped down a couple times when we've had our 5 and 4 technique inside. So we got to get it cleaned up. Hey, we've had a couple of good stops, but it's going to be a big game of adjustments the second half.
I'll let you get to it. Thanks, Coach. Brent?
Thanks, Heather. As we send it to the studio, John Anderson and Jesse Palmer for the Northwestern Mutual Halftime Report. Take it away, John. It's the ACC on ESPN, the second half of a dandy. Clemson leading Florida 21-14. With Kirk Herbstreit, Heather Cox, I'm Brent Musburger. Should be a dandy of a second half here. Herbie, what's your feeling?
This is really what it's all about. I mean, Clemson and Florida State both have ACC championship aspirations. Both are trying to get to a BCS bowl game, maybe a national championship. Get a second half. Coaches just made adjustments. Both defensive coordinators trying to figure out a way to slow these offenses down. It's going to be fun to see the chess match play out here in the second half.
And, of course, the first series of the game belongs to the Noles. That's down right. 7. That could be big.
It could be. I think E.J. Manuel, much the same way that Taj Boyd took the ball in the first half, went right down in 5 plays and put a touchdown up on the board. I think you're going to try to see Manuel start off with that same hot hand here.
Away we go. And it's fielded at the 4-yard line. Big hole to the 30-yard line. And a penalty flag comes flying. Fine return by Joyner. His best of the night, actually. But maybe there was an illegal block in there. Let's see.
During the return, holding Number 70, the receiving team, 10 yards to spot the foul. First down.
So Manuel opens up under center with Pryor and Thompson. Pryor leads the way, and Thompson is slammed down by Jonathan Meeks. As we take a look at the Pacific Life game summary, we want to compare the two quarterbacks.
Well, and when you take a look at what they've done, it's a pretty good start. First half numbers, you can see they're not missing on a lot. Really, both guys making good decisions, not just throwing the football, but the decision making, checking down, when to run, when to be able to avoid pressure, not throwing the ball at this point into coverage. If they can maintain that, it's going to be hard for these defenses to stop them.
3 linemen down for Clemson, and a first dropped. The youngster Greg Dent had a first down and let it slip away.
There are going to be plays when we get done, and we're starting to do some post-game coverage that we're going to look back on, whether they're dropped passes, whether they're turnovers or missed field goals. It's missed opportunities. That's a first down, and now they're facing a 3rd and 7. See if E.J. Manuel can bail out Greg Dent here.
Remember, in the first quarter, Manuel hurt Clemson as a runner. This is 3rd and 7.
Man coverage.
EJ looking downfield, and first down. Snapped it off beautifully that time to Rashad Green.
They're bringing pressure. You can see it. I'm sure E.J. Manuel knew the pressure was coming off to his right there. He sits in there, waits just long enough, and eventually finds Green. He'll take this matchup. Green's his best go-to man when he's in matched up man-to-man coverage against Breland, the young corner. Nice job of getting that separation. A good throw. Good timing.
Kevin Haplia, a tight end, wearing number 33. He transferred from Penn State. He checks in the Noles. And EJ keeps it on the play fake, and incomplete. Rodney Smith was the intended target, and it's incomplete, and it will be 2nd down and 10. As you know, players like Haplia were afforded the opportunity. They became free agents. Now, Florida State did not go up to Penn State looking for him. They had recruited him out of high school, and when he called and inquired, they had the last scholarship available. And they brought down the young man from New Jersey, and he's one of Coach Fisher's tight ends.
It's one of the adjustments that Jimbo Fisher has made. The 2 tight end set back-to-back plays now. They've been playing a lot of 3 receiver. Now they're coming out here in the first half playing with 2 tight ends.
2nd down and 10. They run the toss play. Here comes Thompson, and he's forced out of bounds at the 31 as we check in down below with Heather Cox.
Well, Brent, remember, this Florida State defense gave up just 3 points in 3 games total before tonight. Obviously, different level of competition, but Jimbo Fisher was quick to talk about defensive adjustments. He said we've got to do a much better job being disciplined in our passing lanes. We've got to have better leverage on the ball, and we must settle down our pass rush. They also want more poise on special teams. And, guys, just an injury note, defensive end Bjorn Warner, who hurt his left hand at the end of the first half, is good to return. A good thing considering he leads the nation in sacks for the Seminoles.
3rd down and 8 coming up for the Noles right now. Pocket holds, fires, incomplete. Just a touch high for Shaw, and he couldn't pull it down.
It's one of the few throws that we've seen E.J. Manuel miss. Again, 3rd down. What's he seeing? He's seeing man coverage. A lot of crossing routes. This time it's 3rd and long. They're deeper crossing routes that take longer to develop. The line did their job in giving him time. He just threw that ball. It sailed on him a bit, and it's a little bit high.
Brent Venables working with Anthony and Willard, 2 of his linebackers as they came off the field. Now Sammy Watkins is back to attempt another return here of a punt. He'll let this one bounce, and it'll go out of bounds at about the 33-yard line. That quick strike touchdown by Clemson sort of took this huge crowd out of the game, and they've just been waiting to climb back in with the lead.
I don't want to jinx Clemson and Taj Boyd. You and I were talking at halftime how he's in command of this offense. You know how many penalties Clemson had in that first half? 0. They didn't turn the ball over. They're playing smart on the road.
No false starts. Very impressive. Hand is to Watkins. Watkins follows his blocker. Picks up about 4 yards on it. Christian Jones, number 7, making the stop for the Noles.
And this package, I think, has done a lot to be able to slow down the Florida State defensive line. Again, if you're just joining us, a lot of formations, a lot of different activity going on by the Clemson offense that's making this Florida State defense slow down and have to recognize it.
They're going to run Watkins again and try to sweep him to the outside, and he's short of the first down. Very good defense by Terrence Brooks to push the speedy one out of bounds before he got to the first down marker.
Brooks recognized that. He was fortunate enough to be able to take the right angle. If he would have been just a step behind, or his aiming point just a step behind, that's a first down.
Jerron Brown, one of the receivers. Third down and 2. Boyd can hurt you in short yardage runs sometimes. He keeps it himself. He picks up the first down as he comes across the 45-yard line.
There's that motion again that you have to pay attention to. It freezes you enough. We've seen this tonight, what, maybe 3 or 4 times? And this time I know it's not the same speed. You see Humphreys going in motion, but it distracts you. It makes your eyes have to respect it. And Boyd now runs the football again.
5 wide. Screen to Watkins. Jammed at the point of attack. The Noles jumped all over that one. Tyler Hunter was one of them there. Vince Williams. Second down and long now for Taj Boyd.
Boyd in this Clemson offense not quite going at the same tempo that Dabo saw in the first half.
Ellington is the running back right behind Boyd. Slip screen and a double pass. Watkins got a man wide open. Ellington in a foot race. 20 cuts. Touchdown Clemson. Sammy Watkins, a 52-yard pass to the running back Andre Ellington. What a call by Chad Morris.
Look, I mean, they're going to take some shots. You know that coming in. I mean, we heard that all week from Florida State. You know that there's going to be some shots downfield. Sammy Watkins missed the first throw where he had a receiver downfield in Humphreys. They go back to him in a different look this way, and this time Sammy puts it right on the money to the back Ellington.
Catanzaro adds the extra point. This crowd will grow in even quieter. And now, folks, the heat's on number 3. E.J. Manuel has got to start coming up to answer what the Tigers have done here early in the second half. What a scene on the sideline. The head coach, the star, the quarterback, Watkins threw it. And Clemson leading Florida State 28-14 as we continue Dr. Pepper's road to the championships. Ellington tonight has 2 catches of 39 and 52 yards and that touchdown. So now the Noles will take a knee and bring it out on the 20-yard line.
What a call by Chad Morris, the offensive coordinator. Man coverage on the outside. The running back is actually manned up with the linebacker. He's right in the middle, Christian Jones. Watch Christian Jones' eyes. They lock in on Sammy Watkins. And while he's looking at Sammy Watkins, Ellington sneaks out of the backfield. And there's Jones trying to catch up with him, number 7. Man-to-man coverage. He had him. He lost him because he thought that Sammy Watkins might be running, and Ellington slips out. By the time he realized that Ellington was 15 yards behind him, and Watkins makes a great throw. Look at Dabo. He's fired up.
First down and 10 now for Manuel. Down by 2 touchdowns now. Jet sweep around. And Benjamin cuts to a hole. Benjamin breaks free. The youngster racing for the end zone. Down by the 10-yard line. Willard saves a touchdown on the young man from Belle Glade, Florida. 64 yards for Kelvin Benjamin.
Watch Cameron Irving get downfield. The left tackle blocking. They'll be able to spring him loose. The receivers also really good job of blocking by Green. And then there's speed. Look at this guy. He's 6'5", 242 pounds, running down the sidelines, and eventually Clemson barely catches up to him.
Manuel back in the gun. I believe a penalty flag. It's a false start. Another mistake by the Noles. That's a big 5
false
yards
start.
down here in the red
71
zone.
of the offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So there are the problems that Florida State has had here tonight.
We talked about how Clemson is avoiding those for the most part. And Florida State has not been able to avoid them. And here they are playing at home with everything to lose.
There's a handoff to Thompson on the sweep. Penalty flag flying. He's down about the 15-yard line.
And another hold here. Trey Jackson, the right guard.
That would be the 7th penalty, I believe, against the Noles, and not one yet.
Not one.
Against the Tigers.
Yeah.
Pretty remarkable.
To go on the road and win tough conference games, that's how you got to play. Avoid turnovers and avoid penalties. So far, Clemson's been able to do that.
So this becomes a 1st and 25 with the ball brought back to the 26-yard line. They were at the 11. Manuel keeps it. Let me check that. It was Robinson who came over to make that stop.
Brent, when he turned around off of this bootleg, he wasn't even thinking about, I'm going to throw it out in the flat, possibly try to find the fullback. This is a design run. Turn the corner, the defense is committed down, and he shows you that speed in the open field.
I got the ball back to the 9-yard line, and that's important because it becomes 2nd down at 8. Option, pitch, Thompson, end zone, got 7 right back if they had the extra point.
Well, there's nothing prettier in the option play executed the right way. He attacks the defensive end. He makes the defensive end commit to him. Make sure he can't make the tackle on the back. He locks in on Manuel. Manuel flips it out there, and of course there's Lonnie Pryor leading the way with another block and a touchdown. The Noles that time able to overcome those penalties, and they get the touchdown. A big one there after that play by Watkins to Ellington.
Now Dustin Hopkins, the senior kicker, makes this a 7-point game. A dandy continues here in Tallahassee. So we welcome you back to the big scene in Tallahassee. 10 minutes remaining, and it's 28-21. Two fine teams trading blows here in the ACC tonight. Watkins, one of the deep return men for the Tigers. High. Watkins at the 10-yard line. 15, bursts through a hole. Still going, and he's down at the 35-yard line. You know, we watched this Clemson team, and one of the big changes with them is how much the coaches are earning on that staff. They have the highest salaried assistant in all of football, Chad Morris, making over $1 million. Brent Venables came in. He's making $800,000. And there's Dabo Sweeney, who gave up $300,000 of his own money just to bring in quality assistants. It's made a great difference, Herbie.
Chad Morris is an amazing story. He was coaching high school football down in Texas just about 4 years ago at Lake Travis outside of Austin, winning state titles. Now he's the highest paid assistant in college football.
Taj Boyd, his quarterback, tries to spin free down at the 39-yard line. Picked up a couple of yards on the play. And Carradine, he's a fine defensive lineman, would not let go.
You know, still a long way to go in this game, but you can really see a difference between Taj Boyd in his second year running Chad Morris's offense. You can see the relationship. You can see how quickly they're executing.
Short drop, knocked away. Great defense on the corner over there that time, and that was Waysome.
What a job of not interfering with the receiver and getting around his body around and his left hand in the way of the football to knock it away.
Now putting Taj Boyd into a 3rd and 7. Let's see what Chad Morris whistles up here. Crowd suddenly back in it big time. Down by 7.
Keep an eye on the right side of the line.
Boyd going to take off. Going to run for the first down. And he is brought down at about the 46-yard line. Christian Jones.
What an amazing job here on 3rd down. Right away, sees an alley, picks it up, steps into it, and there is the difference in Taj Boyd. We mentioned that he dropped the weight, picks up big yards there for a first down.
Back in the pistol. Brings the receiver into the backfield. Runs the option. pitches it to the outside, and Ellington run out of bounds, and Carradine is over there defending that. I'm going to tell you, number 91, senior from Cincinnati, Herbie, he is a very active defensive end. They lost Brandon Jenkins, but he has stepped into that role, and he's been spectacular.
At a Cincinnati Taft High School and went to junior college route to eventually end up here in Tallahassee. Been very valuable with, of course, the loss of Brandon Jenkins.
Now on a second down, they sweep around. Ellington dives for the first down. You know, one of the things I'm noticing about the Clemson player, very aware of what they have to do to get the first down.
They're really dialed in. I think there's a really, not just with Taj Boyd, there's an understanding of not just the scheme and what they're trying to do, but what the defense is trying to do. As you said, the down and the distance as well.
Florida State was attempting to substitute defensive players. They could not get on the field. That's one of the problems when you play up-tempo offenses like Clemson. There's a reverse to Ellington. He's to the 34. So Chad Morris continues to dial up offbeat plays, continues to come with something he hopes the defense is not looking for.
The different formations, attacking the perimeter, getting the ball to the outside with the speed, the motions, and faking it to the outside and running up the middle with Boyd and Ellington. And then after that, then we're going to fake it up the middle, fake it outside, and sneak somebody behind you for a deep pass.
Now they move Watkins out of the backfield. Taj Boyd backs up. Wants to go downfield. Safety valve with Watkins. Incomplete, and it's suddenly third down and long.
Great coverage that time by Nick Waysome downfield. We just talked about all the motions and the different looks, and they'll sneak somebody downfield. Martavius Bryant was going down the right sideline, and Taj Boyd wanted to go to him. Good coverage by Waysome, forced him to come off of the deep throw, and he had to try to get it underneath, but he didn't have his feet set.
DeAndre Hopkins has been quiet lately. Back in the pistol now is Boyd. Straight back. Trips, keeps his balance. Now slides. Now runs a defender. And not going to get the first down. But he saved a loss on that play before Jones wrestles him down. Werner's over there now taking himself out of the game.
Surprised that they don't have a tight end here to help with this right tackle, Timothy. Now, he holds up pretty well, but eventually you're going to see Werner fight through there and force Boyd, who does a good job of keeping the play alive, to have to bail out of there. The right side of that line, again, on third down is something you got to try to take care of and protect.
Now they're setting up for a 50-yard field goal here. And again, they get a man late on the field, one of the wingmen. They've already faked one field goal here tonight. Catanzaro coming at you. Got it long enough. Got it up, and it was good. Dabo Swinney celebrating that long field goal by his junior from Greenville, Chandler Catanzaro.
So very first in Division I big-time college football. Head coach father goes up against head coach son. You're not cheering for Clemson or Florida State. You're clearing for Clem State.
The snap, the spot, putting a leg back in Akowski. It's good, and we lead.
Number 300, and it did not come easy.
That was a tough night for Ann Bowden. Mom of Tommy, had married to Bobby, of course, for a long time, and so here we go now. Spencer Benton will kick this off, and it'll be fielded at the 1 by Joyner. He's been to kickoff return, man. He's got an alley coming to the near side. 35, 40, breaks it. He's got one man to beat. Can he split him? And he's wrestled down at the 11-yard line. Joyner with an 89-yard kickoff return.
What an effort here. And a perfect time for a big return. The fullback who's in there, Chad Abrams, does a good job, but really, this is just Joyner being an athlete out in space. These are all the years he played backyard football. He gets a nice job of setting up the kicker, and then down the sideline, I thought he might have the speed to take it all the way into the end zone, but Clemson finally catches up to him.
Xavier Brewer, one of their safeties, number 9, was back deep, and now Manuel at the 11-yard line with a... He picks up about a yard on that, and it's going to be second down and goal. Anthony coming up to make the stop.
Tried that option the last time they had the football, and it was a touchdown. They try to go back to it here into the boundary to the left side. That time Clemson, one too many defenders over there, easily able to sniff it out.
Smith, Rashad Green, two of the wideouts for the Noles. Thompson, the running back. Play action. Throws high. Touchdown! The Noles strike. Rashad Green, who fumbled a punt early in this game, comes back with a touchdown of his own.
We've been seeing Clemson with all the activity in the backfield, disguising things, trying to manipulate the eyes of the defense. Well, this time it's E.J. Manuel with some movement in his backfield to catch the Clemson defense's attention, and Green is all by himself in the end zone.
Now Dustin Hopkins. The lead is 3. 59 points on the board already. Rashad Green, a sophomore from Albany, Georgia, and a top-flight recruit. .6:15 left in the third quarter. An ACC showdown living up to its advanced billing. One of the more entertaining games of this season so far, and it's not over yet. So is it Sammy Watkins' turn? Not this time. This one will come out with 25.
Again, Brent, we talked about Clemson doing a lot of things to confuse Florida State's defense. This time the backs are going to cross. Here comes a blitz to the outside. Watch what happens here. The job that Lonnie Pryor does, the fullback, of being able to pick this up. Blanks comes in, they pick it up. It's a slant move and then back to the outside. And Breland did not have a chance, but it was activity in the backfield. The defense is peeking into that and seeing the play action, and a beautiful move there to the outside, and Green is left all alone for the touchdown.
The Florida State sideline is firing the crowd up, and Taj Boyd is over on the sideline. Ellington setting the play on the field. Ellington looks like he's going to back into a wildcat formation here.
And they had to either call a time. They got a timeout there. The play clock ran down.
Well, got a little too smart that time.
30-second timeout.
And let's head to Robert Flores for Sports Center right now. This is our scene, Robert, right now. First down and 10. And after that timeout, Morris thought the better of it. Came with Taj Boyd. And he's going to have to chuck this one away and out of bounds because they were closing in on him right there. That was Dawkins pursuing him.
The leaders tonight for Clemson, Taj Boyd, who's been in command for the most part for this offense. Andre Ellington, a couple receptions on the night, and also doing a good job of giving him that physicality in the running game up the middle to keep that Florida State defense honest and respecting that part of this offense.
Rhodes is taking Hopkins one-on-one at the top of your screen. Press coverage, so Boyd comes down to the bottom to the 26-yard line, and Tyler Hunter making the play defensively. And now Mark Stoops' defense is starting to take things away.
That time, Tyler Hunter out in space. That's a big thing when you defend Clemson. Can you make a play in space? Hunter's nickel back that time does a good job of securing that tackle. Now the crowd, for the first time in a long time, becomes a factor on third down.
Stoops at first on this third down. showed too deep with his safeties, and he backs them off again. Fires middle, incomplete. Watkins, the intended receiver, he thought he was interfered with. And this is Clemson's first 3 and out of the night.
Now, Christian Jones has a tough ask here. He's 6'4", 232 pounds, running down the middle of the defense. He's got great size, and it's not pass interference there at all. He does a good job of trying to stay with him, but Sammy Watkins, if Boyd would have led him and put some air under that, he would have been able to probably run away from Jones.
So far, the Noles have been intent to set a return, and a penalty flag is thrown by the back judges. 2 of them came flying. How many men do we have on the field there?
12 men on the field for Florida State.
Yeah, that'll do it. Just one of those mistakes that, you know.
Illegal substitution against the defense. 12 men in the formation. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
But it doesn't get them a first down, obviously, because they were back at about 4th and 9. So they'll still figure to punt this ball. But what I was going to say is that Florida State has been content to set returns rather than try for a block. Spencer Benton is the punter. Handles a low snap. Green going to let this one bounce. And it'll come down about the 36-yard line. Well, the chase for the NASCAR sprint goes to the northeast, to Sylvania 300. That's tomorrow at 1 Eastern. And you know, speaking of NASCAR, as you take a look at Dabo Swinney, he played a little NASCAR recently and got a ticket that made the news, doing a little 63 in a 25 zone, trying to get to a radio show. And so Dabo, he paid the fine. It was over $100, folks. And guess what happened? The policeman got fired, not because he gave Dabo a speeding ticket, but because he posted it on a Gamecock message board, the entire arrest report. So that's our boy Dabo trying to become a NASCAR driver, I guess, on the way to the radio show.
Trying to get to the radio show. You never know, right?
No, you don't. You don't.
Policeman puts it up on a board of the rival team.
He had video of it.
Yeah.
He put up there.
That was a smart move.
Now, see those towels down there? On that sideline for the Noles, they're trying not to give the Clemson sideline across the field a good look at the signals that they've been sending out. And a couple of guys are holding up the towels down there. Manuel snaps it off, complete. And that was to Kenny Shaw.
They're playing.
There they are, right there with the towels on the sideline, see? Oh, cover him up. We don't want any lip reading now. See? Nobody can see that.
Oh,
the Herbie's not looking at those. Oh, there we go. Did you get that, Herbie?
Oh, man. What's the big 3rd down? If you're ever going to pull the towels out, this is the play to pull the towels out for.
Well, it is 3rd down. Noles need 3 here to move the chains. Remember, EJ can hurt you on the move.
Same play.
It was. Just snapped it to Kenny Shaw, the junior from Orlando, for the first down.
Yeah, they're sitting back there. They're picking on these linebackers. Just if they're sitting in zone, they're just going to try to find the area to be able to find the opening. And Shaw, both Shaw and Green do a good job with these kind of routes. And I know it's not flashy and it's not an 80-yard play, but it's a small plays and an understanding of what you need to do to be in relationship with your quarterback, especially on 3rd and short.
James Wilder checks into that backfield for Florida State. Brian Stork, who's had 16 starts at center, snaps it to Manuel. Wilder releases. He's a good receiver. Underneath with the throw to the 31-yard line. Greg Dent working in that pattern.
Really good job up front. E.J. Manuel had all day to let this play develop. And right now, Brent Venables is just sinking back. He did this a lot in the first half, keeping everything in front of him. They don't want to give up the big play, so Manuel sees that. There's nobody open downfield, so he comes underneath to a shorter receiver, and Dent has the kind of speed to get upfield after the catch.
Now on 1st and 10 at the Clemson 31-yard line. Thompson, who checked back in, cuts into the middle.
And you see a difference between Thompson. You have Pryor that gets his hands on the ball. Freeman from time to time will run it. We've seen Wilder tonight, who's more the power back. It's a good changeup, and now they go with a fastball here with Florida State. Here they come. Just waiting on the umpire.
Second down and 1. Here's Thompson again. Power breaks free. Still going. Touchdown! Florida State leads. Chris Thompson would not be denied. A penalty flag back by the 15-yard line. Holding, I believe, is the call. It is. This one's coming back.
Penalty for slide the foul. Still second down.
Walking slow, that's Cameron Irving. He's a converted defensive tackle, folks. That's their left tackle. And a little gimpy right now. You got to keep an eye on him.
And again, another mistake here. I think the tight end this time, Nick O'Leary, was the culprit. Another big play. This one comes back. The 8th penalty tonight for Florida State. That one the biggest of the night after to have to take points off the board.
James Wilder still in. Long strike, far side, touchdown! Rodney Smith interfered with it all, and the Noles lead for the first time tonight.
Pass interference against the defense. Penalties declined. Touchdown. E.J. Manuel has been dinking and dunking all night. After a big penalty and a setback, Rodney Smith, 6'6", 219 pounds. What a throw by E.J. Manuel, right over his shoulder.
Dustin Hopkins. That was a good hold by Chris Revel. His best throw of the night, Herbie. I think we'd agree with that.
I'm with you, Brandon. He has matched up outside Rodney Smith against Darius Robinson, who's 5'10". But the ball is just perfectly thrown. He didn't even have to use his size advantage. He's in rhythm, puts the ball up, and right, you're just throwing it right up and over. It's like you practice that when you throw it into a bucket. Puts it right where it needs to be. And this big, tall receiver, he's separated right at the right time there to get that touchdown.
Watch the quarterback react.
He should feel good. He's played great all night.
He's putting some hurt on Brent Venables. The Clemson defense is on the run right now. The Noles starting to light them up. We welcome those of you who just watched the Fighting Irish go to 4-0. We've had a dandy one here so night. Florida State tonight has taken its first lead, 35-31. Clemson once up by 2 touchdowns. And the Noles have battled back. There's Sammy Watkins deep now for Clemson. 2:37 remain in the third quarter. Coming out on the 25. Well, a reminder of what's coming up on Monday night. And this is going to be very entertaining, Harvey. Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers go out west to play Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks as the fourth quarter comes to an end. Here's your quarterback comparison. And you can see what they have done. But Russell Wilson was very efficient in that upset of the Cowboys.
I thought people panicked a little prematurely on the Packers and Aaron Rodgers after their opener against San Francisco. They quieted a few people after week 2.
Taj Boyd keeps it. And right now, Mark Stoops and the Noles defense has jumped this offense. They forced a 3-and-out the last time Clemson had the ball, for the only time tonight. But Stoops is hanging tough.
The adjustment is a lot more press coverage, and they're doing a better job up front of just beating blocks, winning one-on-one blocks up front. See, there's it again.
And Boyd runs out of trouble, sliding at the 31. As we saw Mark Stoops, one of these days, who knows, it might be at the end of the season, he's going to become a head coach like his two brothers. Bob Stoops, of course, at Oklahoma. Mike Stoops was the head coach at Arizona. He's back in an assistant with Bob at Oklahoma. But Mark Stoops' turn has come. And we've got an injured player down there, and that's Vince Williams, and a little bit of cramping down here.
People forget that Mark was hit Miami of Florida as a defensive coordinator back when they were competing and trying to get to national championships with Sean Taylor and Terrell Rowe and a lot of those great players. He went with Mike over to Arizona and Tucson to be his defensive coordinator. And now he's down here with Jimbo these last 3 years being a coordinator. And you're right, he's kind of paid his dues.
You know, this is hard work right now as you watch Mark down there. You know, he's got to look at the personnel across the field. And now he's got one of his big bodies coming out. Vince Williams is one of his ringleaders, senior out of Davenport, Florida. He really relies on him for some leadership. And now he's got to go without him. Maybe he'll go 4 down as Everett Dawkins comes in off the bench.
And Telvin Smith, who's a backup to Williams, has been playing quite a bit tonight because of his coverage skills.
He's going to put 4 linemen down on this switch on 3rd down now. 1st down. No, incomplete. Wave it off. Hopkins the target. Rhodes a fine corner.
Great coverage, and this is a matchup we all want to see. Rhodes against Hopkins. The ball's thrown actually behind Hopkins. He got to the inside. He beat his man. One of the few throws we've seen from Boyd behind the receiver. And anyway, Rhodes does a good job of just knocking that ball away once it's thrown behind.
That is 2 3-and-outs in a row right now. Rhodes goes over to the sideline. Rashad Green back deep to return this punt. Going to wave everybody away. And it'll come down across the 25-yard line before it rolls dead.
E.J. Manuel tonight has had just a great game. He's wanted to have a chance to be able to take this program and himself to the next level. And this is a big stage against Clemson tonight. He's been able to run, make plays with his feet. Of course, he's in command. We just saw his last throw, a big touchdown down the right sideline there. And I think we still have a long way to go. Minute 33 still to go in this 3rd quarter. We'll see if he can continue to play well and continue to provide this leadership this offense needs.
This is a big defensive series for Clemson. Thompson on the sweep, cuts it back across the 25. And for an update, here's Robert Flores in the studio. Robert. Second and 7, and not many teams go into Norman, Robert, and come away with a victory. The Sooners have been lethal during the Bob Stoops run down there at home. Going deep, got one-on-one. And there's the penalty flag as Kelvin Benjamin reached back on it, and Robinson made contact with him.
Pass interference, number 21 of the defense. 15 yards to the previous spot, automatic 1st down.
Robinson does not get his head turned around. It's a mismatch as far as size. But watch Benjamin. He's going to try to get back to the ball. And you notice how Robinson didn't turn to look for the ball until the ball is already past him. Gets in the way of Benjamin trying to get back to the football, and that's going to be pass interference.
That's the first penalty assessed against Clemson tonight. Move it out to the 41-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10 for E.J. Manuel. Manuel has time, sideline wide open. One of the things that seems to be happening right now is that the offensive front for Florida State is starting to wear down that young defensive front of Clemson. Not a lot of experience here on Florida State with this offensive line, but the pocket has been kept clean for E.J. Manuel during this 3rd quarter when he led Florida State to its first lead of this game. Brian Stork, the ringleader. Jackson Matias, the guards. Irving Watson, the tackles. Keeps it all the way. And forced out of bounds on the Clemson sideline.
People that are just maybe flipping over watching this game, everybody thought that Florida State's defense would be the strength of this team this year, and they could end up being that. But tonight they've been challenged by Sammy Watkins, Taj Boyd and company. Jimbo Fisher's offense through 3 quarters, over 500 yards of offense. Pretty impressive start. We still have a whole quarter to go. It's 73 yards on the ground. Might be a good spot for him again to run the ball.
He's got a 3rd and 3 here. Instead, Thompson for the first down to the 45-yard line, and the Noles are starting to carve up that Tiger defense.
You know, whether it's been Green or Shaw or Thompson or Pryor, they've made a living in this area against this Clemson defense. They've done a really good job, especially on short yardage situations, of being able to find a matchup that they like in man coverage, or in that case, zone coverage, and just finding that bubble and putting the ball on the money.
And the Florida State coaches sense that they can go to power. James Wilder, bigger, stronger back, checks in behind Pryor. Player got him, bolts free, spins loose. Wilder crosses, battles, carries 3 with him. That, folks, is why he was one of the most highly recruited running backs in Florida in the last few years.
You just called for power. You said he's a power back. I think this pretty much tells the story. 1 tackle, 2, and now we're going to bring about 3 or 4 with us all the way down to about the 9-yard line. What an effort there by the young sophomore.
35 yards and some punishment. He's coming, and his teammates are going to congratulate him on his sideline. What a greeting he's getting.
Oh, the helmet right on the ball, secured the football.
This is dish it out.
Doesn't go down.
Big boy football.
Little stiff arm. He did everything on 1 carry.
Just like Daddy used to do, Sam. James Wilder was a tough running back. On the far side, 1 man down, Corey Crawford. He's a starter. Buckle it up, young man. They're going to use you again.
We talked about how the D-line might be fatiguing here late. I think the linebackers also having a tough time, whether it's been the pass in coverage or getting off their blocks, and when the guards are coming up to them.
Lonnie Pryor, who can dish out some punishment, is the fullback. There's O'Leary, the tight end. Here he comes again. Pryor leads the block, and Wilder jumps across the 5-yard line.
He's saying my fault there.
It's not the sun they're concerned about. It's lip readers.
What happens when we can hear him? Can't see him, but we can hear him.
2nd down and goal. And Manuel is a load, too, if he keeps it. Wilder. He deserves the touchdown, and he gets it. James Wilder barges in. And Florida State has scored touchdowns on its last 4 possessions.
But watch the 2 guards, Matthias and Jackson, get up to these linebackers. Beautiful, beautiful execution.
What a job by the sophomore running back from Tampa.
Stand up. Let's go.
I mean, that's breaking their will the way he ran. Once down by 14. The Noles now in charge, and watch Pryor, number 24, lead the way. Seal it off. Not much of a hole, but Wilder does the rest.
College football in high definition is presented by Vizio.
13:25 to go here in the 4th quarter. And Florida State has taken command. 21 unanswered. They lead at 42-31. And Kansas State has upset Oklahoma. 24-19 your final. And we welcome those of you who are watching that. Here the Noles were once down by 2 touchdowns, but they've taken command in the 2nd half. And they don't give Watkins a chance for a big play. Herbie, let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. What do you got?
Well, I think if you look at the numbers, it's pretty impressive by both quarterbacks. But what the story doesn't tell you here with these stats is Florida State's defense, the last couple possessions, they've answered the bell. They've come out, they've gotten 3 and outs, they've gotten their own offense and special teams involved, got the crowd into the game. The difference is they're winning the blocks up front. The Florida State defensive line finally beginning to assert themselves against this Clemson offensive line and not giving Taj Boyd much time at all.
Now, can Taj Boyd come from behind? Throws it to Ellington. Ellington in space. And he's out to the 41-yard line, so a strong first down pass play to open this drive. Hold on, there's a holding call coming back.
Holding, 63 of the offense. 10 yards from previous stop. First down.
Left tackle Brandon Thomas.
He locked up with Tank Carradine down at the bottom here. Carradine trying to get in there. Thomas, who's one of the more veteran guys. Interesting call there. If you're a Clemson fan, you're probably thinking, where did he hold him?
First down and 20. Ellington out of the backfield. Taj Boyd with an empty look and not much doing. Second and a bunch. He thought he had a crease.
Taj told us this week that one of the things they learned after starting so fast last year and then struggling down the stretch is when you face adversity, maintain your poise as a leader, maintain your poise as an offense. They've been facing adversity here these last couple of series. Now it's time to try to respond to it.
In trouble. Ellington catches it for a loss. Down at the 8-yard line, Telvin Smith. And Mark Stoops' defenders are starting to tee him up.
They're starting to kind of pin their ears back and just play much more aggressively up front. A little stunt up there. But you see Warner getting in there. He gets a hand on the ball. The linebackers, the coverage, I think, is also tighter. They're not getting as confused as they were in that first half.
The Germinator from Berlin, taped up, injured tonight, and still coming on every snap. Taj Boyd on the run, has to throw this away, and Clemson forced to punt again. Suddenly, they cannot get first downs. It's 3 consecutive 3 and outs.
The right tackle, we talked about it from the very first possession. Gifford Timothy, a tough ass today. When he is unprotected with a tight end, he's matched up one-on-one with Warner, one of the top rushers in college football, and he didn't come up with a sack, but he forced Boyd to have to get out of the pocket and didn't have a chance to let the play develop.
Rashad Green is back deep. He's standing in Clemson territory now. The punter's been a little bit short here the last few times. Right at the 49-yard line. And Green is thrown. There's a penalty flag. Penalty flag thrown on the far side on this return by Rashad Green. And Taj Boyd knows that he's got to get something going here quickly with that offense. He's got lots of weapons.
During the return, block in the back, 24 the receiving team. 10-yard penalty, first down. There's actually 2 24s. This is Terrence Smith, not Lonnie Pryor. I was about to say our guy with the miscue, but it was Terrence Smith with the penalty.
Those double
Not
numbers.
Pryor, that's right.
Hannah. Honoring the Seminole Indians, the only American Indian tribe that never signed a peace treaty with the United States government. Unconquered. And that at night is one of the most beautiful statues around college football. 1st and 10 now for the Seminoles. In complete control. Manuel flares it out to the outside. And the young man Greg Dent finally ripped down on that far side. Take a look at the drive chart here, Herbie, for our last 4.
Well, and especially if you think about what Clemson's done in their last 3 or 4, and then you look at this. It's a completely different half as far as the momentum, as far as the energy of the stadium. Florida State's really playing well on both sides of the football.
First down near midfield. Bobbles a snap, picks it up, fires to the side, got Dent on a completion, broken play, and Dent battles his way to the 37, and we go to Robert Flores for an update. Robert?
That's good for another Florida State.
Yeah, Robert, tell them the ACC has thrown down the gauntlet. They think they're going to score more points in this game than they will in that Pac-12 game. And we're looking right now at 73 and counting. First down. It's a handoff inside. Now, of course, with this lead,
it's a combination.
The Noles are pretty content to keep the clock running.
Combination of working clock, and at the same time, you need at least 3 points on this drive if you're Jimbo Fisher. They've missed 2 field goals. They have, even though he's missed a couple, Hopkins happens to be one of the best place kickers in the country. You're going to want to try to work to get it 3 points to be able to get it to a 2-touchdown advantage here. So you want to be conservative and work clock, but you also want to try to continue to get some yardage here to give yourself a chance.
Timeout.
Timeout, Florida State. 30 seconds.
Manuel with a 30-second timeout. Well, Florida State touchdowns with its last 4 possessions. And, you know, Herbie, just when we were kind of wondering about the Noles and saying, hey, they fooled us again, and they couldn't show up in a big game, and what a second half they have had here. They have shown us why they were a big favorite coming into this game.
They were down 21-14 at half, and Clemson was doing everything right. Taj Boyd was doing a great job. Then they're down 31-21, and you're right, the crowd was dead, but the adjustments, we talked about it at halftime. Who's going to make the adjustments to put their team to have a chance to win the game? And Mark Stoops has done that on defense, and also Jimbo Fisher did some great things to be able to isolate some of his skill, and his offensive line has really taken over up front.
Second down and 10 now. And you can see Stork IDing the defense. Flash it in underneath, and Wilder finally pushed out of bounds just shy of the 20-yard line.
It's nice to see Wilder, who came in with so many accolades and so much attention, and last year just kind of worked his way into a position that was going to be a fullback, or was he going to be a linebacker or a running back, and he has settled in to be a running back along with Thompson and Freeman, and tonight's one of his best games of his young career.
Now the right tackle blocking on that play is from Manchester, England. Name is Watson, and he's a very interesting story. Handoff to Wilder, who moves in behind number 71, who is helping clear the way over there. Watson, for a time, as Wilder, you just can't bring him down.
He's not
Watson,
going down.
for a time, was a basketball player at Marist. And then took up football, and he went the JC route. And they have him starting here in Tallahassee at right tackle. They have offensive linemen from England, Switzerland, and the outstanding defensive lineman from Berlin, Germany. When it comes to recruiting, Jimbo Fisher is all over the world, ladies and gentlemen. First down now. That's O'Leary, the H-back. Fumble! Snap is fumbled. Clemson tried to dig it out. They signal they've got it, and they do. Now, the offense must take advantage of this, the second Noles turnover of the game. They must jump to it on this time.
Yeah, I don't know if Stork even got the ball up to Manuel. I don't think Manuel ever had his hands on the football. They've been doing quite a few shotgun snaps, and the last few he's been under center. The ball never got up. Manuel never had a chance, and once that ball bounced off Manuel's hands and back down, and off his leg, actually, it went right towards the Clemson defenders, and they had the awareness to pick that ball up. Now remember, Clemson, these last 3 drives, they haven't been able to do anything. Let's see what Chad Morris comes up with here. See if they get a double move and try to get the ball thrown downfield.
Not as much motion. Here it comes finally. Watkins on the jet sweep. And ready for it was Werner from Berlin. This young man has an NFL future.
Keep in mind that Werner's taking
on a blocker and then has to have the speed to get out there. The man on the outside there, this defense working as a group. Vince Williams, who went out with an injury, fought off a block and didn't allow Sammy Watkins to get around him, and then Warner came to the inside.
Boyd looking for a deep man, couldn't find him. Throws, intercepted. Picked off. The 30. Watkins tries to rip it out. There's a penalty flag. Waysome, who's had a heck of a game. Nick Waysome from Groveland, Florida, makes the interception.
67 on the offense, downfield, penalties decline, first down. The first time tonight that we've seen Taj Boyd get impatient and force the football. This is reminiscent to late in the year last year. Instead of just trying to take off and pick up some yards, that play didn't have a chance. And, you know, he's down late in the ball game. He's trying to make something happen. But if Waysome didn't come up with that interception, there's a pretty good chance that LaMarcus Joyner would have.
Chris Thompson is the running back, prior the fullback for E.J. Manuel. E.J. with a career night, 380 yards passing. Hands to Thompson, daylight on the left side. 15, end zone ahead. The killer. The Noles are for real. 27 yards.
It's taking advantage of an opportunity and not wasting any time. Boyd throws the interception. Thompson shows you the kind of acceleration he has. And guess who? Lonnie Pryor with a huge kick-out block to open that running lane up for Chris Thompson.
Dustin Hopkins will attempt the extra point. There is a flag down on the field here. We'll get that straightened out with our ACC crew. Is another 12 men on the field?
Yeah. Can't take it on the kickoffs. Looks like it's what he's talking about. He's probably just declined. Illegal substitution. 12 men in the defense formation. Penalties decline. We'll play the try.
Now we're going to have to revisit a memory that Dabo Swinney was hoping I would not mention. But the last time Clemson moved to the big stage was the Orange Bowl, the Discover Orange Bowl last year, and West Virginia hung a 70 on it. They thought they'd remedy that. And now here tonight, in a comeback game, Florida State has put 49 on them.
Waysome comes up with this huge interception. And this offense from Florida State really feeling that they had a chance to put it away. Watch Pryor's block 24, kicks out, takes his man away, and there's the speed and acceleration from Thompson. He's over 100 yards on the night.
Quarterback, Florida State University. I graduated with communication. So one day I wouldn't mind getting into production or maybe acting. Maybe one day working alongside Brent Musburger and Kirk Herbstreit. Back to you, Brent.
What do you think about a three-man booth?
Hey, when he gets done in the NFL.
But you know what he's got to do for us?
What's that?
Get a larger announce booth at his school.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm with you on that. Tight.
That's EJ's first job. A career night. 380 yards, 27 to 35, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions for the big fella. He has proven tonight why the coaches speak so highly of him. When people around the media sometimes take shots at him, and even I've had doubts about his passing ability, the coaches run to his defense. They love this big guy.
Well, I think really Jimbo Fisher has been warning everybody about what he can do when he's healthy and when the players around him are better. And I think they're better around him. They're better at receiver. They're better and deeper at running back. The line, I think, is a whole different look this year for Florida State. Much stronger and thicker than where they were a year ago. So you add that with the experience he gained last year, it's no wonder he's ready to have a big year.
Mark Stoops and the defense doing the rest. Taj Boyd and the receiver slipped. He's down right there. Picked up a yard, and it'll be second down and long as Watkins goes down.
Yeah, I think Mark has done a really good job. In the first half, they gave up 21 points, and so far in the second half, only 10.
And there's a couple things. I think he's mixing up his looks, but I just think they got some momentum, and I think the defensive line started to really beat the Clemson linemen in one-on-one chances and get more pressure.
Taj Boyd, and they're giving that all rest of the game.
I mean, when you have coverage downfield, you're taking away the underneath throws. You're protecting yourself with two safeties back there, so they can't get the ball thrown downfield. You got man coverage underneath. There's nowhere to go with the ball, and by the time Taj Boyd has a chance to decide to find somebody, the protection's given in.
Boyd back, comes down the middle, incomplete. Jones, outstanding game tonight, dropped back into coverage.
Actually, really good play. Jones, just at the end, gets his left hand in there to knock the ball away from Humphreys.
When you play too deep, folks, you got to have a linebacker who can buzz that deep middle. And the Noles have got that. Now Clemson forced the punt. Green will go back. And the Noles will go to work big time on the remaining 7:45 here in this football game. Fair catch at the 28-yard line. 83,231 on hand and enjoying tonight's showdown. Tallahassee on a Saturday night. And Herbie, take a look at the what Bobby Bowden was accomplishing and what they have to overcome here now.
It's amazing. You think about 14 straight 10-win seasons, 14 straight times, finishing in the top 4 of the country. I don't think we're ever going to see that again with the scholarships at 85, the parity that we see in college football. You know, Mac Brown in Texas got on a good run. Pete Carroll got on a good run. It's just hard to maintain
there's one more run I want you to mention.
Bama. Yeah. Yeah. And unless he leaves, maybe old Bama can get it going for 14 straight.
I wouldn't bet against Nick Saban right now. James Wilder checks in here for a 2nd and long. And well, I got to give Kirk Herbstreit a little credit here. Remember, he selected Florida State as one of his finalists playing for the BCS championship down in Miami. Take a look at the rest of the schedule. Now, I'm maybe alone in this, but I think they better be careful of South Florida.
I think next week that's when they're going to show us that when you hear they're back, it's that week. It was last week against Wake Forest. This is a big win. They came back. But how are they going to go when there's no hoopla, there's not a lot of fanfare. South Florida just lost to Ball State. Nobody's going to care. Everybody's going to tell them they're going to kill them. And then we're going to find out what kind of maturity this football team has next week in Tampa.
3rd down and 10. The 80-point night here. Wilder running wide, and in that Oregon-Arizona ballyhoo offensive game, there are about 11 minutes left in the first half, and they've only got 7 points.
Got a long way to go to catch up to this one. It's a big win for Florida State for obvious reasons. But after what happened last year against Oklahoma, and not only did they lose to Oklahoma, it had an impact on them for the next couple weeks against this Clemson team and also Wake Forest. And there was so much talk this year about, I don't want to hear it. Florida State, same old thing. This is a big confidence builder for them as they move forward into the rest of their season.
So they punted away against that rush. Fair catch by Watkins back at the 31-yard line. Okay, folks, this was earlier today when Lee Corso made his pick on game day. Now watch how he throws it to the ground.
Let him fire.
Watch this.
Oh, not quite. Bricks and 6 feathers in the spear. Great job, man. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Mercy. You got to take a lesson from Osceola.
Oh, my God.
I saw the coach afterwards, and I told him how much I enjoyed that. You know, the trivia question here in the stadium, it was a multiple choice. Who quarterbacked the 1954 Florida State Seminoles, and the answer was Lee Corso.
Yeah,
He's a pretty good defensive back.
He was. He had a bunch of interceptions.
Yeah.
In fact, I think he had the school record for a number of years until Deion Sanders, I think, tied him. He didn't get the lead on it, but he tied it.
He did tie it.
And Lee played, of course, with Burt Reynolds back in that era.
2nd down and 10. Taj Boyd going downfield, complete. Beautiful pass. And Ford, the tight end who was once a wide receiver, crosses the 30-yard line. What a pretty play that was.
Well, they hit a touchdown on this call where it's a wheel route where they try to flood the zone and get the defense to pay attention to some of the receivers. This time it's Hopkins, so he cuts out and then he cuts down the sideline, and the defense lost him again in coverage.
That's 40 yards downfield. And they ride Ellington. And he comes across the 25-yard line, and Smith making the stop.
And if I'm a Clemson fan, obviously it's going to be hard to see them have a chance to come back and win this game. But it's so early in the season, and I can just hear some of their fans thinking, there we go again, same old Clemson. You want to see them fight to the end and show some backbone here after the way this second half has gone.
Taj Boyd's doing just that. That one's incomplete to Ford. One of the things, Herbie, that bears repeating. The offensive and defensive lines on this Clemson team are very young and very inexperienced. And in a game like this, where you're playing, that makes a huge, huge difference. Now, what Sweeney and the coaching staff have to do is not allow this loss to become a second and a third loss like they spiraled downhill at the end of last season. They've got to regain it, win some games, and get back on track. This is still a very attractive football team, and one with a lot of very good players on it. Now Boyd back in the pocket. Man covered. Picks up the first down.
Well, that's where a guy like Taj Boyd, he took a big hit there. I hope he's all right. Linebacker and safety. Oh, looks like he got helmet hit there, helmet to helmet, but also before that collision, looks like somebody may have stepped on his foot. In fact, he's kind of limping there.
They're going to take him off.
Yeah.
So he's going to go out of the field, and his backup quarterback is Cole Stout. And Stout rides the running back on that first carry, and Vince Williams just jumped all over him. And Taj Boyd said, that's enough of that. I'm fine.
Well, you talked about how they can't let this game maybe affect them down the road and spiral the way they did a year ago. That's where, they're young in some areas, but they also have some veterans. And Taj Boyd has got to make sure that his leadership and Andre Ellington and some of these guys don't let that happen.
Watkins bursts into the middle. Crosses the 5.
Nice wrinkle that they have in this offense where he's so often in the jet sweep. And you get so concerned about Ellington, but they've got a couple extra backs back there to help block. And again, with the speed that you see from Sammy Watkins, he doesn't need a lot of room to be able to get by the second and even into the third level of a defense.
15 yards for Watkins. Ellington runs into a dark hole. There's no daylight.
It'd be hard for them to run the football in here, just going up into the middle. They're going to have to get their jet sweep stuff and maybe even a play action here to try to get Taj Boyd a chance to throw the ball out on the outside.
They hit the box, and Taj is going to do that. Deflected. Incomplete. Brown, the intended target in the end zone. The ball was deflected away, and it will be 3rd and goal.
The last thing you want to do against this Florida State defense is play the game in a phone booth. You want to try to stretch them out as much as you can. And when Clemson has had success tonight, that's what they've done. And then when they've done that, they've won one-on-one battles with their backs and their receivers against the Florida State skill.
Spins. Not going to make it. And Vince Williams.
How about Carradine coming off the edge against Brandon Thomas? Well, he has such a big role in this defense with Brandon Jenkins out for the year, lining up on the opposite side of Warner. And poor Brandon Thomas that time did not have a chance against Carradine.
Well, if we take a look at the defense here, Herbie, of the Noles.
Yeah, I think there's been some adjustments. Like I said, give Mark Stoops a lot of credit for mixing things up, but I think he motivated them. If nothing else, I think he went at halftime and challenged their manhood a little bit because they looked like a different team. They looked like the defense we were anticipating seeing, creating turnovers, winning the battle up front, much better coverage, confusing Clemson, where it was Clemson that was confusing the Florida State defense in the first half.
And he's still coaching away.
Oh, yeah.
You see him down there? Yeah. He does not want to give up this touchdown on 4th and goal. I mean, look at this man. 49-31's the lead. Ellington in motion. Boyd rolls right, going to throw back. Oh, touchdown, tight end Brandon Ford. His second touchdown grab of the night. One for pride for Clemson.
Crazy thing there, Brent. Terrence Brooks actually read the play.
Yeah, he did.
A little delay there where, like Clemson does, they roll one way, try to make you fall asleep on the backside. The tight end just acted like he was confused. I'm not in the play. I'm just going to stand here. And then he went out for the pass. Brooks was there. He just wasn't able to go up and knock it down.
Taj Boyd and Clemson going to go for 2 here. Put it on the 10. High snap. They weren't ready for it. It was over Ellington's head. And he has to go down on it.
Brandon Ford's had a big night tonight catching the football. Like I said, I think Brooks was maybe thinking about catching that football and going the other way. Ford has the size at 6'4". His job of holding on to the ball.
Now Stoops really wanted to prevent this touchdown. We had it for a second. Okay. All right, let's get ready here. Dadgummit. And
intensity. Intensity, boys.
I would say that Clemson and Florida State have just sent an 86-point message out to Oregon and Arizona. Catch us if you can. And the last time I saw that score, it was 7-0 with about half of the second quarter to go. So a high-scoring game was expected out in the Northwest, and a defensive battle broke out.
Yeah.
You know, that's what happened in the championship game. Remember the Auburn?
Oh, yeah. The only thing I'm surprised about that is that Arizona, for now, has stopped Oregon from scoring. I think the Ducks, we and I were talking, I think the Ducks defense, think about what they see in practice during spring and during summer. Pretty familiar with Rich Rod's system. You know, Nick Aliotta, he has an idea of what Rich Rod wants to do with Matt Scott. So I'm not shocked to see Oregon's defense playing pretty well. I think they got a good defense, but seeing Arizona stop Mariota at this point, that's a shock.
Well, the good hands people are out for Florida State because they know what's coming. Onside kick. And it is brought down by the Noles with a penalty. Let me see if it went 10 yards yet. Let me see what this call is.
I think guy might have got a little bit of an early start for Clemson.
It's kicking team. 5 yards from the end of the kick. First down.
So the final 2 minutes here, and a reminder to stay tuned for the Ford wrap-up coming up right after tonight's game. It was quite a day in college football. Some of you, of course, know that Central Michigan scored 9 points in the final 45 seconds to stun Iowa 32-31. Ohio State struggled but beat UAB 29-15. They go to a conference game next week up at East Lansing against Michigan State. Penalty flags come flying as the center decided that he was going to keep that one himself. It's the old hidden ball trick, and Brian Stork.
Please reset the game clock to 2 minutes, 11 seconds.
Here we go now. Give me the football.
Well, you called a trick play. We played your trick play. What year was that, 88?
88, the old fumble rooster. I can't believe that. As I recall, the ball was down at about the 33-yard line. They were punting out when that was what shocked everybody about that call. And then Butler, who got the handoff, took it from the up back. Had a great career with the Green Bay Packers. Great football player. Well, Florida State proved it here in the second half. They were under the gun, and the Noles first time scoring 49 plus at an ACC game in consecutive weeks. Remember, they beat Wake Forest 52-0. But at the end of the first half, you wondered a little bit about them, and of course another piece of magic disappeared for Clemson tonight, and Heather Cox in the Clemson release. They pointed out that when she was on the sideline, they were 4-0, and they even won a basketball game to go 5-0. So they thought that was all they needed tonight. We'll have to ask Heather what happened to that magic. Hey, Heather, what happened to your Clemson
I'm feeling
magic?
a ton of pressure, guys. Can you believe how superstitious the coaches are? Coach Sweeney even told me he'd give me the game ball if they won. But, until I can kick a game-winning field goal or throw a last-second touchdown, I can't take any credit, and certainly I have nothing to do with it, obviously.
Well,
she's going to have to run laps after tonight's game.
Yeah, Clemson using up. Of course, there is some talk that I guess I want to start it, okay? As you know, Matt Barkley stumbled last week, and in watching E.J. Manuel today, the Davey O'Brien, the quarterback award, this was the quarterback showdown game for that particular piece of hardware with Boyd versus Manuel. But I'd like to throw Manuel out there right now as one of the dark horses for the Heisman. Now, I know the youngster, Geno's up in West Virginia. Smith is probably the leader, according to him. But I'm going to tell you something. This is a Heisman performance here tonight.
Well, the other thing about the Heisman Trophy is it typically goes to a guy whose team is going to be in the top 5 of the country, and you're putting up numbers. If they avoid upsets, his name's going to be out there quite a bit. Florida State's going to be heavily favored, maybe by 10 points or more the rest of the way until they get to Florida at the end of the year. But in conference play, they're going to be heavily favored. Even the game at Virginia Tech, they're going to be favored. So Manuel's going to have his chances, without a doubt.
And they're taking dead aim now. They're going to be in the conversation about the BCS championship as long as they stay unbeaten. There's no question about that. Oklahoma will drop out of it for the time being. There he goes. Here goes Manuel. Come on, EJ.
80 pounds. Let's talk about Jimbo Fisher, because the baton was handed to him from Bobby Bowden. He's been recruiting great. It was a little bit of a kind of a difficult transition period. Even some of the former players weren't necessarily happy with the way Bobby had to leave. Jimbo needed a win like this. This is a team that is his team. The fan base bought into him being the head coach, but he still needed this kind of landmark win to show that Florida State is capable of winning big games.
You talked about numbers, Herbie. Manuel, career high 380 passing. He's also rushed for over 100 yards in this game, okay?
Pretty good.
And there's a formation that the coaching staff wanted to see, the victory formation. (49-37). Some are enjoying that final score more than others. Two coaches out there at midfield. Let's go down to Heather Cox with the winning coach. Heather.
Jimbo, congratulations. How on earth did you guys orchestrate that offensive explosion in the second half?
Our kids and our coaches, our assistant coaches did a tremendous job of getting our guys ready at halftime. Our kids, there's a lot of character in these kids. There's a lot of heart. We got a great group of kids, and I'm blessed to be able to coach those guys and coach with those guys.
And it wasn't easy for the first 3 quarters. You didn't take a lead till late in the third quarter. How did you keep this team believing?
Well, I think we've been through this situation a little bit last year, and we told ourselves we knew it was going to be tough. Things you remember in life are always tough. You got to keep fighting. That's the way we practice. That's the way we play. It's the way we think.
How can a win like this make you guys continue to believe and keep that momentum going?
Well, I think it builds confidence. But right now, what we got to do is enjoy this one, then forget it, get ready for a great South Florida team next week.
Fans certainly enjoyed it as well with firecrackers. Thanks so much, Coach.
Heather, the fireworks exploding here. And Herbie, final thought on what we witnessed here tonight.
Again, I thought Florida State down early, down at one point 31-21, showed a lot of maturity, a lot of poise. I think they really got a win, a landmark win for the program. And I think they showed the nation that they are a team to look out for this year, and a legitimate top 5 program.
Let's go down to Heather now with E.J. Manuel.
E.J., congratulations on a career performance. Now, since August, you've heard people questioning whether or not you guys deserve your rankings, whether or not you could win this game. What kind of statement does this make?
It's just the next game. We wanted to come out. We prepared well all week. We knew they were going to be a great opponent. Great defense, great offense. We knew we were going to score a lot of points. All glory goes to God. I'm just so happy right now for my teammates.
And an entirely different offense in the second half. What did you guys say to each other in the locker room to turn it around?
Well, we just knew we had to keep scoring points and help our defense out. Those guys, they can throw up 50 points easily, you know what I mean? So as an offense, we knew we had to go out there, take the initiative, and score points. And defense played lights out in the second half.
Now, you have said that you want to be Brent and Herbie and join them in the booth. They just talked about you possibly in the Heisman race. How would you respond if you were up in the booth there with them?
I don't know. I just want to win games for my teammates. I'm not really about personal accolades and things like that. If it comes, it does. But if not, I just want to win and leave a legacy here at Florida State for our fans.
Enjoy this win. Thanks, EJ.
All right, Heather, he talks like a team player, and there's a very warm story with head coach Jimbo Fisher and his wife down there with their son who's had a medical problem. And Herbie, you did a wonderful story on game day about that.
Tom Rinaldi did a very touching piece, and Jimbo and his wife and the whole family, they got some bad news, obviously, and they've handled it very, very well. And his young son's such a charming little guy, and it's great to see him here tonight. Here for the celebration with Jimbo.
Yeah, a little bit of a blood disease. It's very difficult to combat. But look at that youngster. Is he beautiful?
Fired up.
Look at him. He said, way to go, Pops. That's great. Our final score, 49-37. I want to thank you for watching ESPN on ABC. ESPN, the home of the Discover BCS National Championship game. For Kirk Herbstreit and Heather Cox, we sure enjoyed being with you tonight. Come on back next Saturday. We'll take you to the studio now for the Ford wrap-up with Robert Flores.